All right. I think we're live.
Hello,
I think so.
people of interwebs land.
We got everything going like it's supposed to? Give me shit if it's not.
I believe so.
Perfect.
I will give you shit if it's not, for sure.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
We're just talking to ourselves.
Oh,
Yeah.
Always. First things first, thank you so much to Uwooby. That is Uwooby on Twitter for our player icons. Thank you to Mr. Kevin McLeod of Incompetech.com for all the music that you are going to hear today, which...
Speaking of.
And thank you so much to @JoeTheDM, again on Twitter, for this wonderful homebrew that we are about to play. We are in your debt, good sir. So, anything any of you want to get out of your system that you want to say?
Nah, I think we're good to go.
When you said, is there anything you want to get out of your system, I really felt like just screaming into the microphone. And I was like, I thought better of it.
Rest in peace, headphone users. I have a limiter, but I can only do so much.
It would have been a fake, forced scream.
Well, I was going to say, and I'm totally springing this on you guys, something that we do with our home game in which the players and the DM all take turns recounting what happened in the last session.
Oh, yeah.
It helps give me a good idea of when the players were and weren't paying attention.
Yeah.
To the story.
Wood.
I can always tell when the player comes up and they say, there were gaps.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Then again, when it comes to our home game, that's usually like a...
Yeah, we waited almost 3 weeks last time. What did you expect?
Like 12 hours worth of events to remember.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, when we play in our home game, we play all fucking day. We don't just play for a few hours like we do tonight.
We're
like a
not
retreat.
chumps.
It's insane.
It's just a friendly romp through the D&D lands.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Then I'm actually going to get Melissa to tell us what happened last time.
Ha!
With a mouthful of beverage. Okay, so last time we came into the Pokemon Center at the end of our session prior. And the Pokemon Center was in a state of somewhat panic as there was a storm a-brewing outside. And there was rain that was starting to leak through the poorly maintained ceilings of the Pokemon Center. And Jackson and Brooke spent some time trying to seal up the patches with their web-slinging Pokemons. And it just became a lot to manage. And Nurse Joy started getting concerned that it was going to damage the equipment, the life support that was sustaining the Pokemon. So we ended up having to deal with that and windows blowing open and mopping things up with the two other individuals whom I don't remember their names because I don't take notes.
Bobby?
Thank you for your honesty.
I don't take notes in this one. I'm too busy
Lawrence?
playing. I want to say
Lars.
I was gonna say one was
Lars.
definitely an R, an L, and then there was a electrical thing that occurred that caused the Elekid. The Elekids to go in a mad electrical rage. At which point they were attacking us, and the power went out. So then Brooke had to try and crank the power manually to keep the life support on, while Jackson desperately tried to keep them off of her by fighting the Elekid and Chansey.
Mm.
Yeah. And Chansey
Chances
kept
helping out. Forcing eggs down
forcing
people's
eggs down people's throat, hard-boiled eggs, because she's a pacifist. And eventually we successfully helped maintain the power and keep the floods from causing too much damage. And when the storm broke, we had a restful night in some of the rooms and praised our Pokemon for a job well done. And the next morning we headed out to see if we could find the Chimchar, as we had woke up and found that it had escaped. So we went back to see the Glameow and the Stunky.
Stunky.
Yes.
And Jackson made a new friend, and the Stunky is now in the party as opposed to Charlotte, who parties like it's her birthday when she. That's all I picture her now is just like bobbing her little like butt, being like, I'm gonna win. She's like, it's my birthday. It's my birthday. Along with her sassy attitude. Her naughty attitude. Let's be specific here.
No, Dandy is sassy.
Yeah, she shakes her bum.
Shake that rabbit booty.
And after we did that, we kind of wandered around a bit, trying to see if we could find the Chimchar, which we couldn't. So we went back and did some manual labor and got paid. And found out that the Chimchar may have wandered down Route 2? Okay, I thought so, but I wouldn't want to stick my foot in my mouth. So we decided to take a quick mosey into Route 2 to see if we could get the Chimchar to return to us in some way. But we are planning to go back to the Pokemon Center so we can get a rest so that Bonsley can win a pageant tomorrow.
You're goddamn right.
And Ryulu will only do it if he really wants to. I'm not going to force him.
Oh, but we made him want to. We got that competitive spirit riled up.
Perfect. Okay, so the last time we left you, you were actually standing on the edge of town, facing northward towards Route 2, one of the 3 entrances and exits leading in and out of this town. Upon hearing rumors of this Chimchar with the mangled foot heading down this way, you decided to leave. It is getting a little bit late, like the sun is starting to go down. There are heavy shadows. But the route ahead of you is beautiful green fields. So unlike the fields that you left when you were leaving Entry Town before you hit the forest, that were almost crop-like, golden and green, this one is just pure leafy green. It is gorgeous, soft, long blades of grass. And there's a slight breeze, low cloud. But other than that, a comfortable night.
And about what time is it? Sorry?
You're going on maybe 9-ish.
Okay. Maybe just a short
Yeah, we'll
15, 20-minute walk in?
Yeah, we'll do a short little stint out and see if we can find anything. It shouldn't take us too long, depending.
Yeah. We'll not waste our time, but we can always come back after the pageant. We'll just take
Exactly.
a quick walk.
A quick walkie poo looking for Chimchar.
It's true. Okay, so you head northwards, following the path. On either side of you, there is just field. You see flowers that grow out of the field itself. It is beautiful, very picturesque. The wind blows across softly.
Is there any sign of a fire-butted creature that could have ran through the grass?
Is there any sign of
Singed
grass that
grass.
seems that it has been trampled over by something that is gibbled?
Or singed by bumfire?
Okay, well, let's start with one of you give me a perception check. I'm assuming Brooke, since she was the first one to ask.
Sure.
She's looking.
I don't think it really matters.
Do you have better
Is
perception
yours
than me?
better?
Let's say just a 14.
That's a number.
It's a number. It's a thing.
The first number roll of the night.
Better than last time, I think.
The tall grass heavily conceals movement through this area. It is the definition of tall grass. Just taking a quick look around, you do not perceive any Pokemon. However, the older fellow here, you wanted to look for specifically fire.
I wanted to
burning.
look for burned bum fire.
Yeah, I wanted to look for tracks that were maybe set a little more lopsidedly than others.
Right, yeah, let's give me a survival check.
Can he do it at advantage, considering I said I wanted to look for the fire?
No, you're just standing there giving a look out.
11.
Can't have you all do it. 11. There's a decent amount of traffic that comes through here. The path itself is well worn. Plenty of tires, plenty of boot prints. It would be difficult to make out any one individual print. Heading through the grass itself, again, it's lost in the tall grass. You'd have to get right under the grass and down to the ground, and at that point, you'd lose all perspective.
Well, I don't see any tracks. Did you happen to spot him or anything?
No sign of Pokemon specifically. No burnt grass.
No burnt grass.
Okay, well,
Hey. Call it night.
yeah.
Do the pageant in the morning and then come out looking again after that, maybe?
When we leave the pageant, we could always just see if anybody's seen a Chimchar around town. Maybe just bugger it off for a bit.
Yeah, maybe.
And then we'll go to Route 2.
Did we ever find out what time the pageant is?
Do I remember what time the pageant is?
Yeah, there's a time on the poster. It starts in the morning. Registration's around 10 o'clock.
I think it was like 10 that
Yeah.
registration starts.
Perfect. We have plenty of time then. Then again, I don't know how long these pageants usually last. So, I say that without any actual knowledge as to whether or not we have plenty of time.
True. And then Brooke will turn around and start headed back to the Pokemon Center.
Sure. Can I get you both to give me a deck save?
That's a 15.
Jackson always does good with dex rolls.
Which is so fun.
Very spry.
Dex is not my good one. 13.
13. Okay. Jackson, you watch as the ground gives out underneath your good buddy here, Brooke, and she falls into a
Oh,
hole.
God.
Brooke, do you have any of your Pokemon out at the moment? You would have your one active.
Ryolu always.
Ryolu. Ryolu takes 3 points of normal damage, as do you, as you fall and hit the bottom of this pit. It's about 10 feet.
It's a fucking Team Rocket situation. I say.
Italian hands, Italian hands.
But they can't see the Italian hands. Wait.
Incorporating so much home game.
We both take 3?
Yes.
It looks really weird.
It does.
You do not get to disperse it.
I did a thing.
An accidental thing.
Yeah.
You okay down there, Brooke? And Riolu?
I
Liam?
think so. Ryolu, are you okay? She says she
Kinda
rubs her sorbet.
dusts himself off a little bit.
That's wrong. I was like, we slept. He just dusts himself off.
Yeah, mostly, and he starts looking around. It's not a big hole. It's maybe 5 foot wide in diameter. Again, about 10 feet tall. Just crudely dug out of the ground. A bit of a pitfall.
Does it look like it was dug by like a shovel or like a Pokemon?
Give me an investigation check.
By natural or man-made machinations.
15.
15. You can tell that it was dug definitely by people. You can even tell with a roll like that it has been here for a while. It looks like there is grass that has grown over the lip of it. There's little bits down here that have started to sort of melt over. Like it looks like it's was set a long while ago and then forgotten.
Do people actually just set traps for Pokemon lists like this to try and catch them? That seems cruel.
Yeah, but it would work though. It's efficient.
I guess so, or would really piss them off, Brooke says as she gets up. How high is it again?
10 feet.
Ryolu, you want a boost?
Here,
Kinda
I'll
looks
reach
up.
down my hand too and
I'm going to
Give
try
you a
and
hand
pick
up.
him up.
So, how tall are you?
Description somewhere.
5.
Don't do that. My kids did that to me today.
5 foot?
I'd say probably like she's 16.
3 foot?
5'5".
Okay. How tall is Riolu?
Does it say?
Does it say?
Of course.
Oh yeah, 2 feet.
2 feet. So that's a total of 7 feet.
I'm reaching my arm down.
Okay. And you can grab Riolu. Can you just give me a quick, just straight strength, because you
Hell
just
yes.
haul him out there. Just curl him.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
So 17.
You do the predator arm grab where you grab him and there's this massive flex. And then you just pull him up. Riolu actually looks incredibly impressed with you. And he gives you this little nod as you haul him out of the hole.
You are always full of surprises, Jackson.
What? He's late.
No, it was the muscle flex. Were you like a bodybuilder in your younger years?
I was a gardener.
So it's from like lifting soil.
Maybe. I suppose.
So
Literally my lowest score.
like, I don't know where this came from.
I suddenly have massive biceps. What? Just the one though.
Are there any like pieces that seem more sturdy to grab on? Like when you dig deep, sometimes you run into like a rock, like a bit of rock sticking out, or some
Or would my nat
thicker
20 be able
roots
to
or
help
something.
her out as well?
I'd have to still jump.
Yeah, it would if you could reach her, is the problem. So, from your earlier investigation, you can tell clearly there isn't. The soil here is beautiful, rich, and dark, with very little rock or clay.
And it's a pretty straight.
Yes, and even as you like try to climb up a little bit, the soil is very loose.
Here, Brooke, while my bicep is still massive, try jumping to my hand.
Okay. I'm just gonna try and jump.
Okay, give me an athletics check.
That's my good one.
There we go.
21.
21. You do this running leap against the wall, and you catch his bicep, and he curls you over the ledge. You hear almost like the strain of
Creaking
a
of
rope
bones.
that is too tight.
Oh, that's gonna hurt tomorrow.
Maybe when Bonslai or Riolu win the pageant, you can go for a massage.
Ooh. Yes, 5,000
And we can-
Pokebuck reward.
If
isn't
we
it?
get that much, I mean, maybe even the Pokemon can.
Just have a night out. That'd be nice. Maybe get ourselves a Chimchar and treat it to a spa day
Yeah.
on the
You
very
can do like
first day.
hot cold treatment.
Ooh. Wait, are you saying we use the Chimchar to have our spa day?
No, the Chimchar can have a hot cold day.
Part of me wants to make a My Hero Academia joke to make sure the show exists in this universe, but the other part of me is like, nah.
Yeah, you mean the hit TV series My Hero Pokemon? Or
With that one
as the
character,
true fans call it,
Totodoli.
Boku no Pokemon.
And now I'm going to more cautiously walk back to town while
Looking for
looking
more
for
traps.
strange pitfalls.
Looking for more strange pitfalls. Give me a perception check.
Both of us or just one?
If you're both looking for it, you can do it at advantage.
Well, it was a 7
Seven and
before
I
it.
know.
7 plus?
9? 9?
Nothing.
7.
Just a 7. Okay,
Fall in a hole again.
can I get you two to make me a deck save?
Damn it!
Ah, not as good. 6.
Not 20.
This time, won't be fooled again.
Oh, how the tides have turned! Billy, no! There's 30
with my nat
pounds of
20,
Billy.
With my nat 20, can I grab him? Am I that dexterous?
Can you... Here's the choice.
Like,
If you grab him,
yes.
you will fall in as well. However, you will avoid any damage.
I can just
Both of you.
I can just lift him out. How tall are you?
5'7".
I just left him out. I will try and grab him, and I'll take the hit into.
Okay. You guys both fall into the pit this time, trying to help
Help.
each other out. You kind of fall down. Again, this pit is about 10 feet deep, 5 feet around, so you're pretty close quarters here. Both Ryolu and your Bonsly fall in with you. Both of them looking none too comfortable in this situation. But because of the fast acting of your partner there, you manage to catch yourself on the wall as you go down, avoiding any damage.
Who digs holes in the middle of a well-traveled area?
How didn't we see these when we were walking to this area?
True. Is this like on the road?
Again?
Like just
It's
straight in
like
the-
on the side of the road.
Who does this? And then I'm gonna try and pick up Jackson
Yeah.
and then boost
Okay.
him out.
Okay. Give me an athletics roll.
At 21 again.
21. Yeah, it's one of those things where you put your hand down, he steps on it, and you alley-oop! Up and over. The old man...
Superhero landing. Everything
Nimbly
hurts. Shouldn't have done that. Bad for your knees.
And then I will Ryulu and Bonsly.
And I will reach down for each of them.
And what about you?
I'll help her up again.
Going to freaking jump again.
One more athletics check.
And then strength for me to grab her, or?
15.
No, on a roll like this, she basically just runs up the side. Lands up top.
Thank Osseous.
Give me a quick perception check.
17.
17. You look ahead and you see what looks to be another pitfall. It is dug out. It is covered with loose grasses. You're actually kind of surprised that you didn't see it before. You're kind of lucky that you didn't fall into it on your way here.
I see you, bitch. I'm going around you this time, you little asshole.
What if the Chimchar fell in one of these?
Do we see an open one anywhere? Other than the two that we've already fallen into?
You look back at the one that you've already fallen into, and you see a small creature standing over top of it, kind of looking over very curiously but very cautiously. Like it peeks over and then it ducks back into the grass and then it looks over again. You can see it's carrying this tiny little spade in its mouth. It is a very light brown in color, very shaggy. It has stripes and this little
Pokedex.
bandit mask looking.
Pokedex.
Pokedex! Oh my god, it's a fucking...
Yes.
The Pokedex says,
Yes.
Zigzagoon, the tiny raccoon Pokemon. The hair on Zigzagoon's back is bristly. It rubs the hard back hair against trees to leave its territorial marks. This Pokemon may play dead to fool foes in battle.
I mean, did Jackson just see it, or I assume I saw it too because I saw him hold the Pokedex up.
Yeah.
And I would have too. It's clearly looking in the hole at something.
It also has a spade in its mouth. Silly Zigzagoon, do you know how to use that spade?
The Zigzagoon kind of looks over at you and its fur immediately bristles out.
Are you suggesting that it set a trap?
No, I'm not suggesting that. It'd just be hilarious if it did. Now that you mention it.
Do we want to see what it's curious about before we go back?
Sure.
Okay.
Start walking up all
Cautiously.
slowly
This never goes well for me.
with a very soothing voice.
Yes.
Hello. We don't mean you any harm. Just want to say hi.
And it kind of backs up a little bit. It's watching every move you make very cautiously, matching your steps just backwards.
Do we notice anything other than the Zigzagoon
Is
kicking
there
around
anything
here?
in the hole?
You don't. You look down in the hole and there isn't anything there. It's the same hole you just fell down.
Yeah.
Is it following us?
Maybe.
Turn around and keep walking back to the Pokemon Center.
Do the same, but constantly looking over my shoulder and avoiding the pitfall that I spotted.
I would like to see if I notice any, like, collapsed pitfalls that are not the ones we did, because I'd be, like, worried that the Chimchar fell in one now.
Sure. You don't see any other than the ones that you guys foolishly fell into. You do note the Zigzagoon is checking out the other hole that you guys fell into. It looks a little disappointed.
This motherfucker set these traps. It wanted food or something. Friends?
Why would a Zigzagoon set a trap on its own like this?
It's extra smart.
I guess so.
Bit of a little shit.
Is it naughty?
I don't have Charlotte here to compare with.
Well, at least when we come back to Route 2, we know not to fall in any more pitfalls.
Yep. We know where this one is at the very least, and the two we already fell into.
Yeah. I wonder if the Zigzagoon will have dug more by then.
Oh, God, no.
You look back and you see the little Zigzagoon already like covering over one of the holes with a little bit of grass. But it like takes a big mouthful of grass, lays it over, quickly picks up its spade, runs over to the grass, and then it like tries to figure out how it can grab a mouthful of grass and the spade at the same time, but drops the spade and grabs the grass and moves it like a couple feet towards the hole, and then goes back for its spade, and then goes back for the grass, and then it's this long process of like not wanting to leave its spade anywhere.
Seems very attached to its shovel.
Yeah. Why do you think that is? I wonder, can it even use a shovel?
Maybe. Be kind of funny to see.
We should sneak up on him next time and watch him dig one.
Yeah, I'm down.
Could be fascinating.
Would be a lot of fun, I
Something
think.
cool to report back to Professor Larp.
Yep.
It's just a running gag now.
Professor Lop and her assistant, what was his name again? Dougie!
Dougie! And then proceed to walk to the
Do the doogie.
Pokemon Center.
To
The
the
words in the things.
Pokemon Center. All right. You make it back to the Pokemon Center, and the crowd that had been there earlier in the day is largely cleared out. The Pokemon Center is well cared for. There's no more puddles anywhere. And you see both Nurse Joy and the Chansey sitting behind the counter, both looking very exhausted. They both got chairs, and they're just leaning in it, just as you wander in, they sort of perk up a little bit, and Nurse Joy sort of straightens her gown and stands up, just ready to receive you.
Hi, Nurse Joy.
Oh, hi. Welcome back to the Pokemon Center. How was your day?
It was relatively uneventful. How was yours?
Well, it was it was busy. And she looks over at the Chansey, and the Chansey kind of feigns this expression.
I mean, it looks like everything got taken care of here at least.
She says, of course. I mean, we do what we can around here. Everyone has been cared for in their own due time.
Well, I'm really thankful for the work you do, and I'm sure all these people this morning are too.
She says, well, thank you. I very much so appreciate that. Is there anything I can do for you, though? Do your Pokemon need any attention?
I think Riolu might, but I think he's the only one today.
Ryolu, what do you think?
We got a Stunky, but we didn't have to
Should
get
we-
violent.
That's true. We made a friend with having to fight. The preferred way.
Nurse Joy looks very impressed, and she says, really? That's phenomenal. I mean, most trainers have to fight fairly hard to gain new companions.
I would just to talk to this one. Her name's Stacy.
Stacy, you say? That's a
Stacy the
lovely
Stunky.
name. Oh, a Stunky, you say?
Yes.
Well,
She likes food.
that's nice.
Well, I mean, we pretty much just
We bribed her with
befriended
rations.
her with food.
Well, I mean, that checks out. That makes...
No more
That
having
makes
to
sense.
scavenge for it. Seems like a pretty good life.
Yep.
Ryolu, what do you think? Do you want to see Nurse Joy or just go have a good long rest? He's only down 1 hit point.
He's down to 1 HP.
No,
No,
he
down
only
by 1.
has one because Brooke gives temporary hit points to all her Pokemon every time they heal, right?
Oh, that's right. I was like, how is he already down to 1 HP? What the heck were you doing to him between sessions?
He's only down by 1.
Riolu is fit as a fiddle.
I agree. Let's let Nurse Joy have some rest, and we'll go take ours.
She nods. She says, well, you're more than welcome to all the cots. Find yourself a space anywhere in the center. You are home here.
Thank you.
Thanks, Nurse Joy.
And I'm gonna flop down and choose to have some bonding time just with Ryolu.
Yeah, I'll
What are you
do the
two
same with Billy.
What are you two doing?
I honestly have been waiting. I want to do the football, I feel like Ryolu would be down.
Putting up the uprights and having him flick a coin through or something?
Yeah.
A little Pokecoin? Sure.
Yeah.
A single Pokebuck.
We're gonna play some flicking Pokemon football style.
Okay. Give me a sleight of hand check.
Am I doing it him or me?
That's you.
Okay.
All she's gotta do is this.
Riolu holds up his little paw-like fingers and creates a little
Oh.
It's a 6.
goalpost, a 6, and you miss horribly.
Now your turn.
Okay. Roll sleight of hand for him.
He got an 8.
You both fail horribly, but he fails a little less horribly than you.
You know you're gonna beat me.
Sort of narrows his eyes a bit.
I know you're gonna beat me.
Roll sleight of hand.
Okay. Whew. I think I have a -2.
So 17?
Yeah, so 17.
Okay. And -2. Yeah, you right between the goalposts. That's 1 point for you. And Riolu looks disappointed, but inflamed.
He's
He's
like,
ready to go.
Competitive spirit.
oh, I was like, he's mad at me? I was like,
His inner Vegeta
we
is
can stop
showing.
playing if you want. Okay, and then I'll tell him it's his turn again.
Roll sleight of hand for him.
9.
He fails again and it just flicks off into a corner of the room and he's
I don't know, Riolu. I saw something catch your attention. It distracted you and you kind of slipped. I think you should try again.
Roll sleight of hand. For him or you?
Yeah.
Okay.
She's already made her shot. Oh.
7.
7?
Yeah.
Even worse than last time.
Do you want to stop playing this game or do you want to beat me still?
He sort of hunkers in and he puts up his fingers.
Okay. That's an 8 for me.
It's an 8. This time yours flies wild.
Okay. This turn?
Yeah, he takes a little coin between his fingers and he tries to flick it.
Does he have a +2, I think? +1.
50.
So, 15.
15. This time he lands a point.
Yeah! And then I high-five him.
He doesn't high-five you. He just puts his fingers back up.
Okay.
He's determined to win.
He is.
It's 3-3.
He is stubborn.
He's stubborn. That's an 8 for me.
It's an 8. You miss this time. And he picks up the coin excitedly to go.
Okay. 6.
Oh, and he misses again. He is so frustrated.
Even so excited about a fictional game. Okay, so it's my turn. Brooke just got a nat 1.
Oh no!
So that's a -2.
So a -1.
Yeah.
Riolu takes 5 points of normal damage as you flick this coin right into his eyeball. And he kind of holds his eye.
I'm so sorry, Riolu. I think you get like 3 shots for that.
You just used payday on him.
I think that's like a foul. I think you at least get an extra shot.
Yeah, his one eye is kind of hurt and he holds it shut. And he goes to take the coin, roll sleight of hand at disadvantage.
I was waiting for that. Oh.
That's a 3.
That's a 3. Just
He's a penalty shot though.
okay. Roll again. He takes the coin.
That would have been a net 20.
But instead
But it's a
13?
14. Oh, 13, sorry.
13. That's not bad. He this time he gets it not like dead center, but he manages to land another point.
That's 2 points.
And he
Are we
looks very
calling
impressed.
it game? You win because your eye hurts and maybe we should just rest now.
He thinks about it and he
We can keep going if you want.
considers the fact that he just won a couple points and says,
He wants to stop.
he's gonna quit while he's ahead.
Then I'm like, good game? And I go to shake his hand. Sorry about the foul.
He considers it for a moment, and then he shakes your hand.
Maybe next time you'll accidentally flick one and hit me in the face.
He looks curiously at, like, why would you want that?
I don't. But it seems like fair is fair, right?
He
Accidents
sort of
happen.
shrugs.
But it was a fun game. And she's gonna lay down. He's gonna lay down with her.
And Jackson, what are you doing with Bonsai?
Billy, we have to figure out something to do for the pageant tomorrow. There's probably going to be a skill portion, I would think.
Everly. Ah! Brooke and Riolu don't even do anything. It's like, we're gonna play a game.
Let's see. What would you be able to do? What would you be good at? Let's see. Billy, do you want to learn how to dance?
Bonsai looks at you and says,
It says.
I'm gonna teach the clumsy Pokemon how to dance.
Maybe Sassy can teach him some bum shake moves.
Okay, let's go over a 2-step.
he kind of picks up one of his feet, and he puts it down, and then he picks up his other foot, and he falls over. And then he stands back up.
Okay,
Sort
okay.
of starts crying a little bit.
Let me show you the basics for a 2-step, and I'm gonna start trying to 2-step with my old brittle body.
Oh, geez. Give me just a straight dex check.
Ah, damn it! I was hoping it was gonna be performance.
You said old brittle bones and then he was hooked.
13.
13. Okay. You aren't a professional dancer by any means, but you know the steps.
Oh, thank God. Okay, Billy, and then just see if you can get this movement down, and we might try to throw in some other stuff.
Roll pokey handling.
6.
Roll Bonsly dexterity with disadvantage.
6.
Bonsly doesn't understand at all what you're trying to show him, and even worse, he can't seem to stay on his feet. As he's trying to replicate what you're doing, he's failing poorly, and he just keeps falling down. Tonk. Tonk.
What else?
Thunk.
Because you're good at making people feel bad.
He tell really bad jokes.
You hear a voice coming from the other end of the Pokemon Center, and you look over to see the young man who helped you patch up some holes the previous day. The 16-year-old trainer kid, Lars. And he says, "Hey, old man, you know, I could probably help you. You're gonna be in the Pokepageant
Yes,
tomorrow?
yes, we're entering Billy into the pageant.
Oh, that's awesome. I'm gonna be entering my Caterpie.
Nice.
Yeah, we're I mean, first Pokepageant ever.
Same.
But you know, now's the time to try, right? There's a couple things. Have you ever even seen a Pokepageant before?
I didn't know that they were even a thing until 2 days ago.
Oh, I see. Well, okay, it kind of shows. Well, you see, there's 3 specific parts. You seem to be working on the performance step of the Pokepageant.
Yes? So
Yeah.
my assumption was correct then. Okay.
Absolutely. There's the performance portion where a trainer and their Pokemon perform specific moves, and based on the effectiveness of their performance, they score well with the judges, or not. You know, it happens. Yeah, and then the second part. Well, technically that's the third part. The second part would actually be the first part. Would be it's an evaluation on the Pokemon just entirely. They do a bit of a walk around. They do a once over. Look to see what the general appeal of the Pokemon is, and that's it. It's a very informal process. A little bit of poking and prodding sometimes.
Oh, Billy will have no problem with that. Goddamn right, Billy.
He looks up at you and tears start.
Give him a pat on top of his little leafy-looking head.
Lars says, "Oh well, that's adorable." Well, and the second part, which is actually the second part, which comes before that
So
performance
not the first,
part.
third part.
No, this is the part after the first part. So after the evaluation, but before the performance.
Oh, okay, so the part that's after the first part.
Yeah. We'll go with that. So the second part is the dress up round. So they supply you with a trunk of decorative things, you know, accessories of sorts. Everybody gets the same trunks. So everybody has the same sort of chances, and you choose what you want to put on your Pokemon and how much you want to put on your Pokemon, and based on their general appeal, they get graded.
Okay. I can think of a few things to do depending on what they have in that trunk.
It's always a toss-up. You never know. It's a big surprise.
Well, I look forward to finding out. Should be a lot of fun.
Says, "Me too."
Well, good luck tomorrow, Lars.
Well, good luck to you. And he reaches out to shake your hand, and it's kind of like a limp noodle.
Oh, we need to teach you how to shake hands, my boy.
Oh, well, you know, I did have my dad around when I was young, so, you know, I never got a chance to, but, well, you know, maybe, we'll run into each other sometime.
Sure.
Like tomorrow, I hear we're both going to the Pokepageant, right?
Yeah, we can go over it tomorrow if you want to.
That sounds great. All right, well, I'm gonna leave you and, your Bonsly to, practice your performance, and, I'm gonna go to bed.
All right. Well, we'll see you later, Lars.
Good night. Good
Have a
night.
good
Good night. Good night. Good night.
I don't think I screwed up his name. I think I got it right for the first time ever.
The one character you will always remember. Lars.
Yeah. And just keep going over how to dance with Billy, because that's all I can think of off the top of my head.
Okay, you guys dance the night away.
Dance the night away.
And apparently Ryulu and Brooke are just doing that.
Playing hand football.
Or
field goals.
making it up as we go. Improv.
So eventually you guys go to sleep, and you sleep the whole night. This time, a much more restful night than the previous. There's no drips and drops. The weather seems to have held out overnight anyways. And it is restful. It's beautiful. You had a long day. But the morning comes, and you are awoken by the sound of opening doors and generally just people entering with their Pokemon for care.
That was a good night's sleep.
Yeah, it was. What time is it now?
It is... It's 9 o'clock.
We got an hour to get there.
Hey, we should head out now then.
Ryulu, do you still want to do this pageant?
He looks up at you, almost offended.
No, if you want to do it, that's fine. I'm not a pageant girl. Okay. We'll do it, and we'll do well.
He nods, and he gives you a fist bump.
Okay. You're going to have to help me, though, because I don't have the same... I'm a swim champion, not a pageant girl.
He kind of...
And then she, like, looks over her, like, relatively muscular frame. All things considered.
Ryolu sort of flicks his not actual hair to the side and looks back at
His
you.
floppy ear.
Do you want me to hair flick?
Just crosses his arms and walks down the street.
Okay, let's go! Then she skips after him.
Okay. Bonsly and Jackson follow behind.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kleenex, like...
These.
You find the location that was described. Oh no.
Kleenex down.
Everything is awful.
That was described on the poster. It's just a central sort of area in town. You see a small stage that has been constructed. Just simple, out of wood. It's maybe 1 foot off the ground. You see a bunch of fold-up chairs being set up in the for an audience. You see another table set up with small microphones, a tablecloth nicely spread over it, facing in front of the stage.
Okay. I'll walk up to the people who are going to do registration.
Yeah.
Absolutely. There's a small crowd of people. You see specifically one person at a registration desk. You also see 5 other individuals who seem to be around it. Each of them's filling out information. You see one man who is wearing this red blazer. His hair is greased over. He looks to be about middle-aged. He's got this pencil-thin mustache. And he looks over at you and this little Clefairy at his side, this pink fairy-looking Pokemon. And he goes, And the Clefairy looks at you and goes, huh. And both of them walk away.
Wow.
You see...
Don't worry,
Someone
Billy, they don't
stuck
know
up.
shit.
You see a little girl in overalls with these big long pigtails that almost go halfway down her back with a Glameow that's almost the same size as her.
Is it
Do we
the
recognize her?
Glameow?
It is the
Is the
same little girl and that Glameow.
Did we
Good
ever
for
get her
her.
name? I don't think we ever actually got her name.
Nope.
You see an elderly woman, fairly heavy set. She's got darker skin, great big glasses that are so thick you almost can't see her eyes behind it. Her hair is massive, like a big fro. And she seems to be talking with the woman at the registration desk. She has this plant-like creature that is kind of dipping in and out of her dress. It has this big bell shape for a head with these orange-looking lips. Its body is super thin, and it's just vine thin with 2 little leaves, and it sort of weaves and bobs a bit. It goes. You see another man in dirty jeans, a plaid shirt. He looks to be, again, maybe middle-aged-ish. He's got this great big mustache on, a cowboy hat. At his side, he has this brown furred creature that's maybe 2 feet tall. It's standing on its tail. Its tail has black rings. Its stomach is white with a black ring in it. And it kind of looks around at everything around it. Its head picking up on every little sound. Its long ears sort of swiveling. It looks over at you and goes,
Jackson actually did
Yes.
that.
It looks surprised, and it sort of scurries a little bit closer to you, and then it stands up on top of its tail again, and so you and goes,
I didn't know you could speak Pokemon.
I didn't either.
I think you made a friend.
The farmer-looking guy turns around and goes, "Well, howdy there! I see my Sentret's taking a liking to you."
He meeped at me, and I meeped back, and apparently he liked it.
Well,
Maybe
what's a
liked it.
couple meeps between friends?
Exactly.
My name's Boyd. What's yours?
My name's Jackson,
Oh, it's a good howdy to you there, Jackson.
and it's a pleasure to meet you too, Billy.
Boyd.
Void?
Boyd! Boy, howdy! Your hearing's going, ain't it?
Probably.
Well, you don't need to hear me to... And he thinks about his words for a couple seconds, and he says, "Sorry, I tend to stumble a little bit when I get excitable. It's the anxiety. I shouldn't be hard to hear if you're hard of hearing. My wife says I'm very vocal.
You seem as though you are very vocal.
Well, no, sir. My hearing is quite fine. You don't need to speak up with me.
Oh, I apologize.
And is this your Pokemon?"
Yes, this is Billy.
He kind of looks at it. He says, "Well, that's a fine sprout you got there.
Why, thank you. What was yours called again? A Sentret?
Sentret.
Sentret.
Yes.
Pretty adorable themselves.
Wow. We're hoping we can get ourselves one of them blue ribbons at the festival today. You know that old Pokepageant?
Yes, that's what we're actually here to sign up for as well.
Well, joy of joys. I would have never thought. This fine young woman, is this here your granddaughter?
Are we still running with the joke?
Sure.
Yes.
Yeah, this is Grandpa.
Well, howdy there, little miss. My name's Boyd.
And I'm Brooke.
Very nice to meet you.
Someone on Discord. On Steam.
Bleep.
I was like, what is happening? And this here is Liam, my Ryolu. He is fired up to win.
He sort of kneels down and he ruffles Ryolu's head a little bit, and Ryolu looks a little, a little,
Perturbed.
yeah, annoyed by being touched. And Ryolu goes, "Oh." Crosses his
He's more
arms.
partial to the fist bump.
He says, "Well, round these parts, we shake hands." "Ah, I'm only joshing. Here you go, little guy." And he holds out his hand, and Ryolu, very unassure, he kind of holds up his hand and taps his fist lightly. He says, "Wow, he's a shy little feller.
Not just spirited.
I see. Well, me and my buddy here, we got some training to do before the festivities start. So
Training
we're
for
gonna for the Pokepageant, of course.
Ryulu, I think maybe we should have talked more about the pageant.
Well, I'll leave you to it. I'm gonna go. Good day to both of you, and we'll see you at the show.
We'll see you at the show, Void.
And he walks away. As he does, he lights a pipe as he goes.
What a pleasant man.
I just figured this was like a beauty pageant, like Pokemon gets all dressed up and looks cool. What is this thing?
I haven't heard about Pokepageants before, but usually with human pageants, there's a skill competition part.
Great. Ryulu, what are we gonna do?
Riolu is nimble.
He is. But are we gonna, what, spar? Am I gonna spar with my Pokemon?
We could see what they have at their facilities. Maybe he does acts of acrobatic finesse.
Do you seem down for that, Ryulu? Do I have to be a part of this? Brooke seems like panicked.
I
He
don't
looks up
know.
at you a little anxious by the fact that you're anxious. He's like,
I told you I'm not a pageant person, I'm a swimmer. Okay. I'm sorry. This is really important to you. I will figure it out. Sparring. Or, sorry. No. Some kind of cool fighting martial arts thing.
He kind of mimics your actions, holding up his fists in the air, just punching at the air invisibly.
I think Jackson is saying that you're nimble and you can do like acrobatics and like ninja style. You don't know what a ninja is. Let's ask them if they have a facility we can practice in.
As you guys are having this conversation, you hear another voice call over. Hello! Hello! Are you here for the Pokepageant?
Yes,
What is
indeed
happening
we are.
now?
The lady who is sitting at the desk with a pile of paperwork in front, she's waving over at you. Come, come! There's no time like the present! Come, sign up!
I'm assuming that's registration table. We should probably head over.
Okay.
Wander over.
Sure. Wander over, and she looks very pleased with herself. It is this heavier set woman. She's dressed in very, very bright reds and blues. She's almost an eyesore. Her hair is done up almost a foot off the top of her head in this big, like, beehive. And she's got these cat-shaped, like, glasses. And she says, welcome! I don't think we've had you as contestants before!
I don't think either of us has ever competed before.
Well, there's nothing to it. I mean, the pros would beg to differ, but anyone can give it a shot.
Perfect. So what can we expect?
Well, have you never seen a Pokemon pageant before?
No.
No.
Never?
No.
Well, there's really not too much to it. It comes in 3 different stages. Contestants will compete in first overall evaluation of the Pokemon. The judges will view them and come up with their choice in evaluation. The second round.
What are they evaluated on?
Oh, pedigree, stance, general charisma.
Ryolu's got that. We're good. Okay. Next.
It's just good to hear it. Secondly, you will compete in the, and she checks her notes.
Isn't it some sort of costume?
That's it. It's the dress-up portion. You will be supplied a trunk of costumes and accessories, and you will deck out your Pokemon in their best.
Do we have to dress up?
No, this is purely a Pokemon pageant.
Okay. I don't know, like, okay. Okay.
Are you all right?
Nope. Yes. Yes. No, I'm good. And she looks at Ryolu and is like, hey.
Says, all right. Well, and then the third is the performance round, where you will use moves and impress the judges with your routines, whether it's acrobatics, daring, displays of fire and ice and water, or whatever you have at your disposal.
You say moves and performance. So you saying like a routine or like
Absolutely.
they show off their okay. So they don't show off their attack skills.
Well, there's skills that are used, yes.
Oh.
It's a more creative implementation of their moves.
Cool. These professionals, how long do they train for these things?
Well, some are groomed from childhood. You know, they'll train for 20, 30 years, breeding the best stock, the finest of the fine. No expense to be spared.
And are any professionals here today?
Well, there is one. He's
probably
come a
the
long
snooty guy.
way. He's of the Banks family. One of the younger sons, Rhett Banks.
He already sounds like a stuck-up
Did he have a
snob.
Clefairy?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh.
Of the fine Clefairy stock that the family keeps on their home turf.
I mean, it was a pretty Pokemon.
Isn't it gorgeous?
Yeah, but what's pretty if you just have a bad personality? I mean, sorry, can we sign up and see your training facilities?
Just training facilities. Well, there's the green room. Here, let me provide you with the proper paperwork. I will need to see your trainer cards.
I show her.
And yeah, I'll show her mine as well.
Okay. She takes each of your trainer cards and she scans it through her small computer that she has there. She pulls up all your information. She says, "Perfect. That's it. That's all we needed to do. So I suppose we will see you here in another hour when we get started."
Perfect.
Excellent. And just so you know, my name is Melody Pluck. I am the show organizer. I follow around the show all around this wonderful Wundoro region. Sometimes outside for special occasions, but if you see me in town, you sure there's good things going on.
Perfect.
Awesome.
We'll be back in an hour.
All right, I will see you there.
'Kay.
Goodbye.
Bye.
Where is somewhere Brooke can train Riolo to do some things?
And somewhere that Jackson could go over stuff with Billy.
So you see a number of the other contestants moving behind sort of the main stage. There's a large curtain there. You see a tented off area with a small printed out piece of paper that just says green room.
Okay, go to the green room.
Okay. You walk in, there's a couple different tables. Atop those tables are small trays with little Pokemon food bowls. Various assortments, nothing too fancy by any means, but it's all free as far as you can tell. There's coffee in one corner. You also see in the other corner that middle-aged man and his Clefairy. He has a small bag of treats, of which he is feeding it. They all look to be star-shaped and in multiple different colors. Very fancy. And the Clefairy is taking one at a time and holds out its little pinky and then grabs another and sticks it in its mouth. All the while holding out its pinky.
Might be pretty, but I guess it's got no personality.
It appears to have the traditional snooty set of etiquette, but that's about it.
Pretty much. Brooke will find somewhere off to the side, away from other trainers' prying eyes.
Okay.
And talk to Riolo. Okay, Riolu. I think Jackson's right. I think that you're pretty dexterous, nimble, maybe flexible even. Probably pretty light on your feet.
Sort of flexes a little bit
Yeah.
and runs in spot.
I think that you could probably impress them with some cool flips and like spins and that kind of stuff. Like acrobatics. I'd demonstrate, but I'm afraid if I did it, I'd probably just fall on my butt.
I can show him.
I don't know if that's a good idea, Jackson!
Jackson's gonna try to do a backflip.
Okay. Give me an acrobatics check.
11.
Okay. You do half a backflip. It's kind of like one of those when kids are just learning how to do a cartwheel.
Yeah.
You don't really go over, but you do flip over yourself. And along the way, you hear like a...
I'm okay.
but you do make it over. You feel this hand on your shoulder, and you look over, and you see this old woman there. And she says... Oh my, are you all right there, young man?
Yes, I'm quite all right.
So, just tell me where it hurts.
Riolu, I think Jackson's got a girlfriend.
Doesn't really hurt anywhere. I landed decently, considering. I expected that to go much worse, honestly.
Well, it was quite impressive.
Why, thank you.
You here for the Pokepageant?
Yes, me and my granddaughter and her Riolu and my Bonsley, my Billy, my Bonsly.
You see Billy sort of ducking behind your leg and looking at the funny little Pokemon that this old woman has with her.
She has a Bellsprout?
It is a Bellsprout, yes. Its beady black little eyes looking at your Bonsly. And it just seems to wobble in place, and the Bonsly looks at it and gets a little dizzy and falls over. And she says, "Oh my, does your plant require watering?" And she pulls out this little watering hand, and she goes to sprinkle it with water.
Quite the opposite, actually, from what I found out. Apparently, actually, if a Bonsly gets too damp, it'll die.
Well, nonsense. I've been around plants all my life. I know a plant when I see one.
So have I, which is what drew me to him in the first place. But no, he's a rock-type Pokemon. A fellow gardener?
Yes. I've tended the fields here for, probably 82 years now.
82 years, wow. You're looking not a day past 62.
Oh, you rapscallion, you. Is that how you plan to win with your flirting young man?
No, we plan to win fairly.
Well, you've already won in my books.
Are you okay?
These old lungs, you know. All right, well, too much excitement before the festivities, and I might not make it through the day.
Oh, I know that feeling.
I will leave you to it, then. Good luck to you, young man.
Good luck to you as well, my dear.
And, by the way, my name is Catherine.
My name is Jackson.
It's very nice to meet you.
It's a pleasure to meet you,
Grabs your
Katie.
hand and shakes it. She says, "Whoa, I haven't been called Katie since I was..."
They say Jackson's got a girlfriend now.
And she walks away and looking down at the Bellsprout, and her eyebrows kind of go up and down, and the Bellsprout goes.
Brooke looks at Ryulu and says, yeah, that was, I think Jackson's got a girlfriend. But we're going to try what he did, only less painful looking. I could try a cartwheel. Kids do them all the time, right? I used to do them all the time. Sure, let's try a cartwheel, see how horribly that goes, and then maybe I can show you a backflip.
Okay, give me an acrobatics check.
Graduate to a backflip. Holy shit.
That's a 16 for a cartwheel.
It's a cartwheel. Yeah. Perfunctory and fine. You do a wonderful little cartwheel.
Do you think you could do a cartwheel?
Rilo looks at you and kind of puts his hands up in a sort of Y formation.
That is so cocked. That was cocked.
It's not much.
9.
9. He does a worse job than Jackson did. He gets like halfway around, and it's like he gets to the top of the cartwheel, and he doesn't know where to go, so he just puts his feet down.
But that works too. That's like a handstand. You could have just held it there, and that's another move. Don't try again.
Roll another acrobatics.
And this time, if you don't make it all the way over, try and use your strength to hold yourself up and keep your body straight, and then you just have a handstand instead, and it'll look like it's on purpose.
It's a good thing that one rolled out. Oh no.
That's a 3.
That's a 3. Okay, this time he gets over on like one hand and he just falls over. And he looks kind of ashamed. He's looking around to see if anybody else saw him. You see the little
turn
girl
my
across
face away purposely.
The little girl across the way with her glammy out just kind of giggles to herself.
They're just laughing because you're so charismatic. And they know that even if we don't do well in this portion, you're going to nail every other one. You're shaking their confidence because you're so confident in your stance.
Can you roll a persuasion for me?
Oh.
5.
5.
Yeah. Don't let my confidence shake you. Like I said, this isn't my thing. But
He looks at you and you are visibly shaking. And he's like,
okay, when I was younger, and every time I'd be going into another competitive tournament for swimming, every time I felt nervous, I felt like sick to my stomach, like butterflies. But once you're out on that stage and you can have the confidence of just doing something that you know that you're good at, and I know you're good. I see you move around in the battlefield all the time with your swift feet. You have this. I'm just shaking your confidence, and you shouldn't let somebody else shake your confidence.
He nods, but not confidently.
If I attempted to do a backflip and failed miserably, would it help you? It's okay to fail.
He doesn't look confident about that.
She's gonna try to do a backflip. 5. No, sorry. 4.
You fail. But it's not even like you were trying to fail, like, nicely, like, so you didn't hurt yourself, but you just fall over horribly.
And I get back up.
But it also looks very intentional.
It was. Okay. I get back up and I say, the important thing about failure is that you get back up and you just try again. I'm going to try again.
Try again to fail.
No. To succeed. But I got a nat 1. I'm trying to be successful, not fail.
Okay. This time you go over and you feel something in your wrist. It just snaps and you fall down.
Did I break my wrist?
You take 4 points of normal damage. And as you try to like pick yourself up, you can't support any weight on your wrist. Even Ryolu looks a little concerned.
But I get back up. And she's trying hard not to look in pain. And she's going to try one more time.
Oh, no.
To do not a backflip, but a one handspring.
Okay, with disadvantage.
That on her one good hand. You know what a one-handed like backspring is? You
Yeah.
don't use the other one.
Okay.
You're
It's still horribly hard.
Okay.
It's a very specific maneuver.
More difficult than just doing a backflip, probably.
5.
Yeah, you just fall over. Like you can't hold your balance. You just kind of roll forward.
And if I can get up and do something again and again, even though I know I'm going to fail, then I believe that you can do this because you're going to be better at this than me.
Ryolu looks at you, looks at your arm, which is like red and a little swollen. And he looks at you, kind of narrows his eyes disbelievingly. But he nods. Oh.
But we only have to do this if you still want to.
He crosses his arms. Oh. And nods.
If you don't want to do it, I won't make you. But if you want to, I'm going to be on stage with you, cheering you on until it's done.
He just crosses his arms and looks at you.
And then I pull my sleeve down and hide the fact that I just broke my wrist.
It's a great way to start.
Yep.
A young man walks into the tent and he says, "All right, everybody, places. We're about to start.
Oh, no,
I
didn't
need
get to
all of
practice
you
anything
on
with Billy."
stage."
During that time, he could have been practicing with Billy.
Yes.
Okay. Perfect. Oh, God.
Oh, no! Everybody sort of follows him out single file. And so do the two of you.
If Ryulu is wanting to do it, Brooke will.
He looks up at you and he looks at the people leaving. And he looks back at you. And he
I
nods.
extend my hand.
And he takes your hand.
We walk out.
Okay.
My not hurt arm.
You guys walk out of
Oh, I don't get to practice, damn it.
If you'd like to, if you...
I was hoping to.
Yeah, what would you like to roll during that time?
What
would you like to accomplish?
What I was going to try to do, actually, was see if I could get Billy to use rock throw to toss a rock, like, straight up, and then low kick it right before it hits the ground.
Okay, let's do it. So roll an attack for rock throw.
Straight dex. So that's a, I want to say 16. Nope. Yep, 16.
Okay, now roll an
Nope,
attack for your
15,
low
sorry.
kick.
And then roll an attack for the low kick, so 15 for the rock throw, and low kick is the exact same thing, pretty much, yes. Nat 1.
A nat 1. His aim was true with the stone. It goes straight upwards and it comes back down. As he goes to kick it, however, he misses it entirely and falls over backwards, as you would expect your bond slide to do. It just falls flat on its butt. And then the rock lands on its head.
So what you're saying is I should roll damage.
He takes 4 points of normal damage from the fall,
So
not from the rock
2.
itself.
That's max HP.
I did that too earlier, and I was like, wrong one, wrong one.
Okay. All right, let's try one more time, Billy, and if not, we'll just stick with dancing. So blue will be the rock throw, pink will be the low kick. So that's 23 and a modified 20.
Perfect. This time it goes up, and he does almost this back kick where he spins around and kicks it right before it hits the ground, and it goes flying off as the piece shatters.
All right, Billy, I think we've got what we're going to do for the skill portion.
And then he falls over onto his butt.
Before we go in, can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Could I instruct Ryulu that if he starts to fumble, and this is a stretch, but I'm going to try anyway, that he can try and counter as if he was getting hit by an attack and try and do some form of recovery by adding a +4.
You can certainly try.
Okay.
Okay. So, you two follow the rest of the crowd out of the tent, around the curtain, and up onto the stage. You see there's a number of people who have filled in the seats. It's maybe 20 people. It's fairly empty, but everybody who is there claps. Yay! Yay! There's a number of podiums that are set up, each with a flat top. As each contestant approaches theirs, they put their Pokemon on top of it.
Do the same. And hope
Brooke
to God the
wins
podium doesn't...
and keeps her one hand at her side.
Okay.
Trying not to show much pain.
Put Bonsley up and hope he doesn't knock over the podium.
You see 3 people sitting in what you can only assume is the judge's table. You see the person who is running the registration desk, Melody. You see a second woman who looks to be maybe only a little bit older than Brooke. She's very serious. She has straight black hair, which is tied up very tightly. She is wearing sort of an aviator's jacket. She crosses her arms and she looks very serious as she sees all of you. You note the entire time she does not blink. She just watches you.
It's a little unsettling.
Yep. And you see this a very, very large man, clean shaven. His head is shaved. He's got this sort of sash on that says Bramble City Mayor or Brambletown Mayor, and he's clapping his great big mitts. Welcome! Welcome! Oh!
He's even louder than Void was.
Yep.
The person who rang you all in initially, Melody, stands up and she steps onto the stage and she greets the crowd and she turns around to you and she says, "This is the first part of our competition. The judges will now come up to the stage and evaluate each one of your Pokemon individually.
Okay.
Best of luck to you, competitors."
We have this, Ryolu.
You got this, Billy. Look extra cute, though you do already.
Just shows tons of confidence.
Finger guns.
As the judges step up to the stage, you see this young man with this great big backpack run by. He's got this little Caterpie on his shoulders, and he says, wait, I'm here, I'm so sorry, I'm here, I'm coming,
Oh, there's a spot right beside me over here, Lars.
And he runs up and he throws his Caterpie down on the first one that he sees, and it's kind of at the opposite end of you guys, but he looks over and he waves at you and he says, hey, oh, I'm sorry, here's my Pokemon. And the judges look at him, not terribly impressed, but they continue on their way. just wondering if I have better music for this. Let's try this one. So the judges walk up to the very first person, Lars, and he's standing there, and you can see he's just sweating bullets. He put his hands behind his back, and he is standing up too straight. His Caterpie is standing there likewise.
Too straight.
Too straight, kind of at this weird sort of angle with its head off to the side. And if a bug could sweat, it would be. As the judges walk up to it and start inspecting it, you can see that they are really, really critiquing it. Their eyes are all over it. As they walk away from it, the Caterpie almost just falls over, just exhausted. But neither of them seemed terribly impressed by what they saw. They walk up to the next gentleman, the cowboy figure that you had met earlier, Boyd. His Sentret sitting on top of the podium, just waiting to be scrutinized. And as the judges walk up, the cowboy reaches out a hand and says, "Howdy there, Mayor. Lovely day we're having, eh?" And the mayor says, "Oh, Boyd, a classic. Always fun with you here." And he says, "Yeah, I brought you the finest of my crop." And they both kind of look at it, and the young woman stares at the Sentret and doesn't crack a smile, doesn't break her demeanor, just heavily scrutinizes it. The mayor smiles approvingly, and he smacks the cowboy on the back and says, "Very good, very good. Oh, always a good time with you here." And the cowboy nods and steps backwards. Next, they walk up to the elderly woman, the Bellsprout sort of wiggling atop the stand. It doesn't stop moving the entire time they look at it. And they scrutinize it, and their eyes look over every crack and crevice on this Pokemon. If I can find...
If you can find its charisma.
Where is it? There she is.
I mean, charisma's not a negative stat for Riolu.
Same with Billy.
And then they walk up to the young girl who is standing there. She can't even see over top of the podium. She's just kind of looking out the side. The Glammeow is just grooming itself, and it looks up with its big eyes and just sort of blinks at the judges. The mayor shares a couple words with the little girl, who looks very frightened by this large, boisterous man. Let's pull up that stat.
Who's that Pokemon?
It's Ditto! Ditto!
Oh, Ditto. I'll never be able to look at Ditto the same again.
Been there one time.
Been down 2 times. Never going back again. That's a song she learned how to play, actually. Anyways.
It's a good song.
Yeah.
This time, the young girl nods approvingly, looking over this fine feline. The mayor likewise sort of scratches his chin, and for a moment, he has no words. They walk up to the next individual, this man in his red blazer, his fine pencil mustache, and his Clefairy, standing, waiting to be critiqued. And the man sort of leans forward and he says, I trust you will find that my Clefairy is the finest of the bunch. But please, see for yourself. And the judges step forward to take a look.
You can't breed a personality.
There goes one dice.
That's what you get, Clefairy.
Both of the judges, again, nod in approval. They look at each other, and they look up at him, and he smiles, and he says, as expected. Thank you. And he leans back, and the Clefairy looks at him, and he looks down at the Clefairy, and they nod to each other. And then they come up to the next booth, to where Billy the Bonsly is currently sitting and sort of looking around, just spewing so much water from its eyes. And the judge says, well, what have we here?
This is Billy, my Bonsly.
Oh, it's a wonderful specimen.
I believe he is as well, thank you.
And then his eyes lock with the Bonsly. And the Bonsly looks up at you. Can I get a charisma save?
Yes. 11.
11. The young woman looks at you, looks at the Bonsly, doesn't seem terribly impressed, keeps walking. The mayor nods a few times and says, that's a fine potted plant, my dear man.
Yeah, actually, it's a rock type.
Don't say.
Yes. Oh, I learned that the hard way.
Good luck to you, sir.
Thank you.
And they go to the next podium where Ryolu is standing there, very nervously. He's like, his hand is halfway between like a salute and a comfortable position. And he's like, he's not sure what to do with his hands.
Confidence. Hands on your hips. Or
That's
crossed
the
like you
fucking
always
worst,
do.
And the woman looks at you. And she looks down at your Ryolu. Can I get a charisma save?
Oh, no.
No. I'm gonna say it's because broke her wrist.
For the podcast listeners at home.
Natural one.
A no.
Your Ryolu practically melts on the podium. Just... It's just this mess of anxiety and nerves.
I did this to him.
The young woman looks back up at you and she says, well, we can't all be winners.
It's not his fault he witnessed me break my wrist backstage. He still came up here, didn't he?
She looks at you and she says,
Want the proof?
you should probably have that looked at. And she walks away. The mayor looks a lot more concerned. He says, do you need medical attention? I will have somebody attend to you.
Nope.
That is, we cannot have our contestants hurt.
No, I am here to support my Ryolu. I will get it checked after.
I'm pretty sure this goes against health and safety. I think we might be liable for that. Let me check on that. Good work. Good work. Good work. And he walks off stage.
OHS is going to have a shit fit.
She shouldn't have given Brooke a disapproving look. Next time she'll tell them she'll sue. And watch them sweat.
Melody walks back onto the stage and she says, that concludes our first judging round. Contestants, you may go to the back and prepare yourself for the second stage. Thank you!
Oh, that's right. We have to play dress up with our Pokemon now.
Don't they just have to dress up?
Well, yes, but I mean,
I
we were.
was like,
I don't know if I would trust Billy's fashion sense.
true.
Not a slight against you, Billy. You haven't worn clothes before.
He looks up at you in a puddle of his own tears.
Oh, don't worry. We'll make you look dashing.
Riolu looks at you in a puddle of his own self.
It's okay, Riolu. Like I said, you can't breed personality. You got spunk. Let's go back and see what cool stuff they got.
Everybody else is slowly filing off. You see a number of people in the stands who are talking amongst themselves and pointing at the various Pokemon as they leave. The judges go back to their little table, and you can see that they're conversing amongst themselves quietly.
Brooke is gonna open the chest with the hand that's not sore.
There's no chest yet, so you go to the
Okay.
back, and a man with a headset leads you into the green room again, and he says, 20 minutes until the next round of judging begins.
Thank you.
And he steps out.
All right, Billy. Let's work on strutting your stuff. Now I'm gonna try to teach him how to do a catwalk. The 1 foot in front of the other and everything.
Perfect.
And hip out, hip out, hip out. Don't throw it out, though.
Performance?
That's not gonna be too good. That's a 4?
That's a 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. You look real janky as you're going. You have never done this before, and your hips look like they're probably more broken than sachet.
Oh, my hips are definitely lying. Pokira lied.
Bonsly looks at you, and he tries to sort of copy what you're doing. Can I get you to give him a performance check?
He nails it.
15.
15.
Bonsai's like, I've seen Sassy do this.
Yeah, he goes down, and for a second, he could be sassy. The way that he wiggles his little rump, and he looks back up at you.
Booty got back.
gives me the Pokemon Blue Steel.
Pretty much. And
Billy!
the old woman walks over to you, and she says, "Well, can I tell you a secret?"
Of course.
She says, "I've seen a few of these shows in my time, and what nobody tells you outside of these walls is it ain't the walk. It's what you do when you get to the end that counts."
Have to give it a little bit of flourish?
Yes. He says, "Show them the right stuff, and those judges will be plenty in your hands."
I'm gonna pat her on the back.
I'm all right. It's all right. I will let you get to it.
Okay, Billy, so you have the strut down. And thank you for the tip, by the way, Katie.
Anytime, you sweet young man, you.
So you have the walk down. Give me that blue steel. And use, actually, blue steel but fake tears at the same time. Get their guards down.
I need you to make a wisdom save. Is it a wisdom save?
I believe so. Let me double check. Fake tears. Activating this move, target must make a wisdom save throw. So me make wisdom save?
Yes.
Perfect.
Pokemon just hurt you.
That one.
Natural one. All of a sudden,
Your brain
you
freeze.
believe he is crying.
Billy, no. Billy, I'm so sorry.
Roll
did I do?
intimidation.
Intimidation?
Yes.
For Billy?
Yep.
I think this is an 8.
Just an 8. He looks over at you, and you, for a second, he goes. Sorry, it should be with advantage because
You got a nat 1.
better. It's a little bit better than that. His eyebrows sort of flex a little bit. His brow ridge. He doesn't really have eyebrows, and he kind of growls.
And is Jackson terrified of his own Pokemon now?
A little intimidated.
I think we've got it.
It is still crying though. Tears streaming down its face.
Oh, I think we've got these next 2 rounds, Billy.
Oh, okay. Brooke's gonna go to the trunk.
No trunk yet.
Still no trunk? They're not gonna let us dress up our Pokemon
You dress it up on stage.
on stage? They put an outfit up on stage.
Mhm.
Stupid. Okay. I think that you don't need any of this frilly stuff everybody else is doing. You need a tough guy walk. And then she's going to walk like, not like macho beef man cake, but like a confident like strut walk where like you'd almost and she's going to at the end like she's gonna be like holding her coat with her one hand and do like the whole like
Flick it over your shoulder.
fling. Yeah.
Okay.
At the end.
Give me a performance check.
Ooh.
15.
15. Looks pretty good.
Okay.
Uriolu looks at you and he's still a jangle of nerves. He's kind of chewing his nails and he's like.
And she comes back and says, "But I think you need some extra confidence." And she takes her aviators off her head and says, "These are special aviators. Special to me because they belong to my big brother Ash. And he practically raised me when my family was off on jobs. They're going to give you the courage that they always helped give me." And she puts them like on top of his head like she wears them and says, "Show me your stuff."
Give him a walk. Performance.
You got top of the way. I know my way.
Sorry, for him it should be what's better, his persuasion or intimidation?
His persuasion is intimidation.
Or are they both the same?
The same.
Okay. Give me one then.
6.
Okay. He tries to copy what you're doing. He gets to the end of the catwalk and he pretends to throw a jacket over his shoulder. And it just kind of looks like he's slapping his shoulder a little bit. And then he turns and the glasses fall off his head and he kind of stumbles to pick them up and he grabs them and he looks back at you a little sheepishly.
Magic. Put them on and try again.
Puts them on and he starts walking back towards you. Roll persuasion.
His persuasion?
Yeah.
4.
4. Again, he gets to you and he stops as if he's striking a pose and he looks up at you and it's just sad.
Does Brooke know if they get to do the walk with their Pokemon?
You don't.
Okay.
I mean, you don't know, but
Okay.
you're getting the sense that you don't. From watching all the other trainers sort of practicing with their Pokemon, you see them like sending the Pokemon out and back.
Okay. She looks at Riley and says, you know what, Ryla? And she looks around and she says, fuck this. We're doing this together. You and me, we're both strutting our stuff on that stage. I don't even care if we get disqualified. Who cares? Yeah?
Riolu looks up at you and... Give me a Pokemon handling check.
I think so. Plus your proficiency in wisdom.
21.
21. Your Riolu nods confidently and fist bumps you.
To disqualification if it comes to it.
Fist bump. You hear the voice enter the tent again. All right, everybody, places. Everyone back on stage. You're due up any minute now.
And then she's going to tell Riolu that at the end he's going to flick the sunglasses down when she flips the jacket. And if they do poorly, she's going to flip the audience the bird.
Oh, God.
Oh, wow.
And be like, pageants suck! She's going to go out in a blaze of glory. Because...
Fuck the
Anarchy!
institution!
Anarchy! Arch enemy starts playing in the background.
Oh, wow.
All right, Billy, we got this.
Okay.
Fuck the system.
Everybody starts piling out of the tent, and they go back on stage. You can see where the podiums were sitting before are now clothing trunks. Each of them are closed.
Are we all on stage at the same time or one at a time?
Each of you are on stage at the same time.
So now we can dress our Pokemon?
Yes. You walk up to the trunk where you were assigned before, and you open it up, and you see this assortment. Okay.
Also, hi, Silver. How's it going? Sorry for not interacting with the chat too much. We're role-playing.
You see a pink bow, a blue bow, a yellow bow, a cool hat, a polka dot scarf, a jingle bell, a fake mustache, a tutu, and a pair of dark sunglasses.
Fuck it, he's wearing her sunglasses.
What color is the polka dot scarf?
It was a itty bitty teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini scarf.
So purple dots? Because I think that was yellow and purple was the pattern on that particular bikini.
I believe so. Sounds accurate.
Or was it pink?
Sorry, what are you looking for?
Purple would make sense because purple is directly across the color wheel, so
Yeah.
make both colors pop. So purple would make sense. What type of hat is the cool hat?
It is a baseball cap, and it is red and white, and it's got that perfectly flat brim and a sticker on it.
Okay. Because I told him to do the sunglasses flip down of the glasses, I'm gonna put it on him like backwards with like the aviators kind of sitting like
Go make him look super cool.
at the backside, so he'd be able to flip them down. But then Brooke don't give no fucks if she's not allowed to do this. She's going to take the scarf and wrap it around her goddamn wrist.
So you wrap the scarf around your wrist. And
Around my wrist to try and brace it a little bit. And then I'm going to put the hat on him backwards with the sunglasses so he can still do the flip down when she fights the system.
And she fights the system.
We're gonna give Billy that scarf. And there was a yellow bow?
There is a yellow bow.
And put the yellow bow on one of his...
butt.
Not on his butt.
Go!
On one of his... on one of the more outward-facing leafy globules. So not the one in the center, but we'll put on the left one. And then he can't wear the sunglasses because he needs to cry at them.
He needs to cry.
What else was there again? There was the scarf.
So, pink, blue, yellow bow, a cool hat, polka dot scarf, jingle bell, fake mustache, tutu, and dark sunglasses.
What color's the tutu?
Pink.
Oh, pink. Yeah, you said that, didn't you?
I didn't, but...
Oh. We'll put the jingle bell on the center stock, but on the back of it, so it's just there really to make the noise as opposed to be an accessory.
Mm-hmm.
And that'll be it.
Okay. Give me a quick second here while everybody else decides what they're putting on their Pokemon.
All right, Billy, now you remember, you go out there, you strut your stuff. When you get to the end of the catwalk, you give them the blue steel and you cry. I think we got this. I mean, you convinced me that I legitimately hurt your feelings before, which I've never felt worse in my life. But at least we know that it should work.
Brooke's gonna remind Liam, you flip the sunglasses down, and then I'm gonna flip my jacket, and we're gonna turn around and walk to the end of the stage, and then fist bump.
He looks out at all the different people under his cool hat and his sunglasses, and he goes,
And I'll be right by your side the whole time. Fuck this noise.
Yeah. All right, well, now that I guess we've got a little bit of downtime while Steve is getting everybody else figured out, if anybody's hanging out there in the chat, how's it going? Like I said, Silver Eye, sorry we're not interacting too much, but we do have role play that we've got to do while we're here. Usually we try
nature of the beast.
Yep, we try to take a break every now and then, just to make sure that we don't miss everybody. I hope you're having a good night, because we're having a good night. What to say to fill dead air?
Right?
So
How was everybody's Monday?
my Monday was alright. Just tired.
Yeah. The weekend was, I think, pretty long for Steven and I between panel 1 and all that.
Oh, it was pretty long for me, too, because Saturday I went up and I helped my grandma out with a bunch of yard work, so I was up at, 7 o'clock to drive up there, and then back home at about 8 o'clock, and Lily had an accident in her cage.
"Oh,
So I had to clean out her cage and then give her a shower. She's not a very happy pupper right now.
Poor girl.
But she smelled really nice after the bath.
Like flowers.
Yep.
Sunshine and daisies.
But she really does not like bathing.
Really?
No?
Yeah.
Salvi loves a good bath.
I'm not sure. Because even when I had her in the bath upstairs, she wasn't a fan of it. But I just had her in the shower down here, actually, and I was just using the wand. Because then I could be like, okay, I'm just in here with you, and now all I've got to do is, hold you in place. And then
That's
you
a good
can't
way to
just,
do it.
run around.
Yeah.
And then just put some steel wool underneath the drain so that the hair doesn't just go down and clog it. And just take the steel wool out and discard that.
That's fair.
But yeah, that was my friggin' Saturday.
There was a period of time where Salvador wouldn't let me go into the bathroom without coming in with me. So I'd go shower or whatever, and he'd lie on the bath mat waiting for me to be done. But then there's been
Selfie.
3 occasions when he was significantly younger, probably maybe 2 years old, maybe tops 3, where he would just decide that he wanted a bath while I'm in the middle of the shower.
Just come in.
And
Yeah,
he
he
would
would.
jump in the shower with me. And then I'd be like, oh, hi. And then he would just kind of stand there
Expecting
to be bathed. So I'd shampoo him and rinse him off. And then he'd leave the shower.
Oh, I wish.
he loves."
He loves baths.
Lily is not a fan. Decidedly so.
Okay, so all of the contestants slowly start putting everything on their Pokemon, and then they sort of march it forward in front of them. in front of the audience, ready for the next round to begin. Likewise, you two do as well. Just to clarify, Brooke has a cool hat and your pair of sunglasses. Okay.
Yep.
And then Bonsly has a yellow bow, the jingle bell, and the scarf.
Yep.
Perfect. Okay. Melody comes up to the stage and she sort of rolls out this little catwalk in front of you. And she says, "All right, now for the second round of the competition. Everyone will be performing in the dress-up round. Please, show us what you got." And she walks off. And the first in line is Lars. And he sort of walks up and he waves, and his little Caterpie wiggles forward with this big pair of sunglasses on it and this fake mustache. And it goes, and it sort of worms its way down the catwalk, and then it stops and it stares out in the audience, and it is fierce. There's a couple people in the audience that go, "Oh my." Even the mayor looks at it and goes, like, you can see him audibly gasp. And then the Caterpie turns around and it worms its way back, and people clap. And then Boyd sort of motions to his Sentret. His Sentret starts waddling forward in this pink tutu. It has a yellow bow tied on the end of its tail, and a pink bow on top of its head. And it sort of walks out, stands on top of its tail, and does this wonderful flourish. And everybody in the audience goes, "Oh, wow!" And they all start clapping. The Sentret turns around and it waddles back to Boyd, the cowboy, who kneels down in front of it and says, "Wow, that was mighty fine, mighty fine." The old woman sort of pushes her little Bellsprout forward. The Bellsprout has this tutu that's sort of draped over one set of its leaves, and it waddles down the edge of the show floor, and it stops at the very end, and it just sort of wilts. You hear one guy in the audience go, turns around and waddles back. You see the little girl run up to her Glameow. The Glameow is decked out in far too much. It has a blue bow on the top of its head on one ear. It's got a pink bow on top of its other ear. It has a fake mustache on its face. And it has a jingle bell tied to the end of its tail. And she gives it this great big hug. And then she says, "Go, go." And the Glameow sort of slinks out over the stage, looking very confident, very feline. Looking at what it has. Yeah. It gets to the end of the catwalk. And it kind of trips on the fake mustache as it falls off its face, and it kind of plants on the ground a little bit, and it looks up like wounded, and it looks back at the little girl and slinks back slowly.
Oh, poor Glameow.
Pick up your head, Glameow.
Hold it high to the sky.
And then the asshole.
The man in the red blazer with
This dick.
the pencil-thin mustache
That asshole.
looks down at his Clefairy. His Clefairy has two pink bows on the top of its head, just perfectly to the side.
Two pink bows.
Two pink bows. And it's wearing this perfect little tutu.
Bitch cheated.
And
Fight
he
the
looks out
system.
over the crowd and he says, "Go, precious."
Ugh.
And it sort of puts one hand on one of its hips and the other hand out. And it starts sashaying down the runway.
Trip, 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 trip. You cheating bitch.
Jackson audibly start chanting.
No, that's Matt. That's Matt hoping.
Wow.
He just said wow.
It's either
That
really
could be
good
a
or really bad.
wow or a bad wow. It was just a wow wow.
The Clefairy gets to the end of the stage and it strikes a pose and it turns and its eyes are closed and it opens it and it's facing the wrong way. And it turns back towards the audience and then it looks back at the man who is just staring daggers at it.
Oh, no.
So disappointed. And you can see the Clefairy is full of shame. Its
feel
cheeks
bad
turn
for the
bright
Clefairy.
red
I
and
do
it
too.
kind of hangs its head
It's not
as
its
it
fault.
sachets back up towards its owner. And then the spotlight's on Jackson and Bonsly.
All right, Billy. You know the routine. Strut your stuff. Cry at the end. Blue steel. Go!
Okay. Bonsly starts waddling down the runway in his fashionable polka dot scarf, his one yellow bow, and his jingly bell. Jing, 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 jing. As he starts going, tears start to stream down his face. What's the save?
It's a wisdom saving throw. The DC is, I believe, let me double check. 10.
You look out over the crowd and you can see the very discerning eyes of the judges, and they don't seem to be taken by the fake tears.
Damn it.
However, Bonsly hits the end of the runway and roll either persuasion or intimidation, whatever you figure is better.
Either one's going to be 12.
Okay. Your Bonsly looks over the crowd and its eyes glisten. And there's a calm hush.
I think the blue steel worked, Billy.
And Bonsly turns back towards you and goes,
Now come on back.
and it runs back towards you and kind of trips and and stands back up. Keeps running.
Part of his charm.
Yep.
And
With
then
a
the
huge
spotlight's
jingle
on,
as he hits the ground.
and then the spotlight's on Brooke.
I look at Raylu and say, even if they try and stop us, to the end. And I fist bump them,
This bumps you.
and we both start our walk down the catwalk.
On the catwalk.
Two
On the
performances.
catwalk.
You start walking your way down. What's better, intimidation or persuasion?
Probably both the same.
But are we both doing it? Because I'm there, is what I'm asking.
Just him.
Both the same.
Oh.
Not one.
A natural one again.
This has been such a bad night for Melissa.
As you're walking hand in hand, you feel him slowly start lagging behind you, and there comes a point where you are literally dragging him down the catwalk, and he's like, you get to the very end and he looks out over the crowd,
Magic glasses!
and there's actually people who are laughing a little.
Magic glasses! Magic glasses!
He
And I
kind of
flip
flicks his
mine.
glasses and they fall down on the stage, and he stumbles to pick them up, and he puts them back on his face, and he looks around and there's more people laughing, and he just runs.
And I go, fuck the pageant! With both hands! And I chase after him.
You hear some guy in the back part of the audience go, "No! Fuck the institution!"
Yeah! Brooke says as she fist bumps into the air.
And fuck that one guy for cheating.
Melody comes back on the stage and she claps and she says, "Wasn't that nice, everybody? Give the contestants a round of applause!"
I'm so glad I got to end it.
And there's sort of a slow clap that starts, and then eventually it picks up a bit. And Melody sort of waves for you guys to all go off stage.
And move off stage. Back towards the back.
Raylu, You want to ditch this place?
Ryo looks at you and goes,
Fuck the pageant.
and he looks at the stage, and he looks back at you,
Fuck the pageant.
and he looks back at the stage. He is so stubborn. He kind of crosses his arms, and he says, and he shakes his head.
Okay, not fuck the pageant. Okay. Then, what next?
He starts like punching the air, and he sort of faux does a backflip, and he looks at you,
I'll be there the whole time.
and you can see he's just shaking the whole time.
Poor Iolu. Yep. I did this to him.
I mean, technically Jackson did it to him. He's the one who convinced him with a nat 20 persuasion.
And those nat 1 rolls. 2
They
rounds
keep
in a row.
coming.
Brooke's gonna take the aviators and put them on her head. And say, okay, cool guy. My jacket then. And she's gonna give him her leather jacket because it's like a crop. So even if he's small, it should
fit.
and like roll up the sleeves so that he's not drowning in the sleeves.
Okay.
And he goes, I'm like, you got this, cool guy.
Kind of looks at you and he goes,
Yeah.
And as you guys are doing this, the man in the red blazer walks up to Jackson, and his hands are behind his back, and he sort of kneels down towards your bonsai, and he says, "That's a nice Pokemon you have there."
Why, thank you. Your Clefairy is also quite nice.
He looks back at it, and the Clefairy sort of steps forward and bows towards you. And
I'll curtsy with the suspenders.
he stands back up straight, and he holds out his hand towards yours. You can see there's a number of rings on it.
I'll reach out and
And he
shake
shakes your hand firmly, and he says, "The name is Rhett Banks. I've been doing this for a very long time, and I must say, you have a real knack for it.
Oh, thank you. This is my first time.
Well, you're performing quite admirably. One would never know that you were such a novice."
I'll take that as a compliment.
Can Brooke hear this?
I would imagine so.
Stop talking shit about my grandpa!
He just ignores you, and
He's no novice!
he says, "Well, it's... I have to say, I'll come right out and be forthright with it. You see, my family's been doing this for a very long time. And to see, what should I say, one of such a pedigree come into a show like this, well, it makes the rest of us look bad. Now, your granddaughter is, she doesn't stand much of a chance, let's be honest. But you, well, you would bring shame to this show. So I must kindly ask you to bow out before the final round. And,
Can Brooke still hear this?
I trust you will do the honorable thing.
How
Does Brooke still hear
I
this?
bring shame to
I
that
imagine
show?
so.
'Kay.
I'm confused.
One sec, Steven. Can I say, Ryolu, this guy is trying to intimidate Jackson. Are we going to stand for that?
Ryolu crosses his arms, and his head slowly swivels towards the man with the red blazer.
I am sure as hell not standing for that. And I'm walking up, intimidating, like, behind him. I'm not going to do anything, but we're being the muscle behind the man. And if he pisses Brooke off enough, she's going to say something. But I'm going to stand behind him like he doesn't know I'm there.
Oh, he definitely sees you. He knows that you've walked up, and he kind of turns to look, and he says, "Cute." Are you looking to get tough?
Not about to lose my Pokemon license, but you're not about to kick Jackson out of this pageant because you're scared.
Oh, don't worry. He's not kicking me out of this pageant. I feel like I have a better chance of getting him disqualified for the 2 pink bows that were on his Clefairy when only one was supplied in the trunk.
I see. Well, it seems we are at a standstill. How about this, then? I will offer you a wager. How about this? A Pokemon battle. Your granddaughter, Riolu, versus my Clefairy. The loser bows out of the Pokepageant.
Yes, I'll take that deal.
He wants me to bow out? Or Jackson to bow out?
Jackson. He's not concerned about you at all. But he'll fight you because you're being tough.
Can I size up his Clefairy real quick?
Can you size it up?
See how it
Sure.
compares to Riolu.
You can give it a medicine check or a nature check, maybe.
Sweet. Nat 20.
A nat 20.
So that would be because I'm pretty sure I have expertise in nature. Oh, that's Billy. I was like, why is it a -2? That's not right. That was my best score. So that is a 25.
25. It looks like a competent Pokemon in everything that you've seen. It hasn't given you any sort of impression that it is weak or specifically only skilled in the art of this competition. I mean, you haven't seen it do any moves. You haven't seen it battle. But it is certainly fit.
What do you think, Brooke? I'd rather not bow out of the competition, but I have faith in Riolu.
I don't want to... I have faith in Riolu. I just don't necessarily have faith in myself. I don't want you to have to bow out because this... Several choice words.
Stands there and he says, well, if you can't have confidence that your Pokemon can defeat me, I mean, I guess it's not good at anything, really.
Fine. How many minutes until the next?
He says, well, there's a few minutes between rounds.
Outside?
I know a little spot.
If I find you cheating,
Again.
like you did in this competition,
He holds up his hand like that Neil deGrasse Tyson meme. Ooh, tough guy.
Oh, we got a badass over here.
He says, after you, miss.
every part of me wants to punch him.
He leads you out towards the path leading into town, Route 1, to an empty stretch of road.
1v1 Pokemon fight, I assume.
1v1.
1v1 me, bro. Is Clefairy fairy type yet?
I guess we'll find out.
Oh, probably. Which means Riolu's fucked.
Because what is this? Gen 3?
He's vulnerable to fairy.
Oh, yeah. And we know the fairy moves exist because Dandy has one.
Dandy. All right, this is a great time to take a
break.
interlude.
I will probably go and let my pupper out real quick. Be right back.
Perfect. Excellent. The Pokepageant.
I don't trust my dice.
It's been such a bad roll for you. Like that's pretty rough,
This
honestly.
was last session too, though. Like last session, I had a ton of poor rolls as well. Like not nat 1 poor, but last session too, I was rolling really bad.
I wonder why that is.
I don't know. I'm seriously considering testing out dice that I feel more confident with right now. And I know it has nothing to do with dice, but this is like...
Always fun. And how could we go an entire session without a Pokemon battle?
Bring in some channeling some Everly dice support.
Because they roll so well.
They do against my kids. And yesterday, when the ones I was using for Daunting's dice were rolling so poorly at the beginning of the game, I switched to Everly and they started rolling significantly better. I know there's no real science in it and that it's all just psychological bullshit, but I don't care.
Alrighty. Think mostly ready, maybe. Perchance.
But
Bum, 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 bum. No buts.
is Rahulu. And broken her fucking broken wrist.
Yeah, that's really interesting.
That I have stole a scarf to currently tense her. I'm surprised she wasn't disqualified.
You don't know. You haven't tried to go back on stage yet.
You just I had no intention of doing it. Rahulu wanted to. I just don't want his loyalty to me to go down. He's my buddy. He can do poorly as long as his loyalty to me doesn't go down because of it. I want him to know I got his back in the best of times and the worst of times. I'll break my wrist and I'll still go to break another one for him.
They were the best of times. They were the worst of times.
Is that Orwell?
I swapped out dice completely. just completely.
We'll see how mine roll for you if you want.
Because this is where things get
That's
real.
a fucking joke.
That's the first roll I made on it tonight, too. When I was just testing him beforehand. Let's see how they look on cam. No, they're fine. What was that sound?
They look better than my blue dice, considering the issues that
I thought I heard like a.
my dice. I did too.
Yeah. Do you want to? Was it Kuma? It's so frightening. But also not working.
Ah, yeah, I figured.
Oh, and it's so off kilter now.
There's just a crack in the map.
Wrong way. Too far. Down. Wrong way. There, no, too much. Turn it a little. You got a little crack on the bottom. Yeah. No. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Little to the left. Little to no. Too much.
There we go. That's the thing with the bar. You gotta flex it a little more than where it's supposed to go, because then it'll just pop back.
Alright.
Anyways,
Y'all ready for this?
let's see how good of a decision we just made.
No.
I have the feeling not. With meta knowledge.
It's okay. I'm just gonna go back if we lose and tell them that he forced me into a fight
And then he cheated
that
before
I
anyways.
broke my wrist, and that if he's going to force you to walk out, I'm going to sue.
We have plans.
Things get serious. He stands at the other end of the path and he says, "All right. Can I get you to roll initiative?"
Sorry. Is it
Your
mine?
Yeah.
So it's a minus 8.
Okay. Alrighty. So, Brooke, you go first.
Okay.
Don't worry, I'm surprised too.
First, I'm gonna use foresight. Foresight, Ryulu.
Can I save?
Wisdom.
Perfect. Ryolu stares down this Clefairy, trying to study its every move. But the Clefairy is very guarded. It rolls a 15.
Okay. No problem, Ryulu. Quick attack.
Does it have enough range?
Well, he's gonna move in. Sorry.
Not quite.
Nope, not quite. So, I don't know what Clefairy has.
That's the point.
Make it so it has to run into melee?
Yeah.
Or use its entire turn to move towards you?
Yeah. Make him come to you, Ryulu.
Okay. The man motions to his Clefairy. Step to the side. Use Spotlight. And it moves sort of over in this direction. And the Clefairy holds up its hands, and this bright light sort of beams down on top of your Ryolu. Can I get a deck save?
Come on, Riley, you're fast.
13.
A 13, you say?
Yep. They're not proficient in saves at all?
They would be.
Certain saves.
Where would it say?
Right next to it.
Oh, it just doesn't say he's proficient.
Oh, yeah, he doesn't have proficiency in any saves.
I think that's accurate. I can double check that for you, though.
Yeah.
Come here. Where are you?
Because Billy's
'Cause
proficient in con.
If he was going to be proficient in anything, it would be Dex, right?
Saving throws, dexterity. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah.
So that would be actually a 15.
15. Yeah. Royal manages to block his eyes before the sunlight blinds him.
I believe in you.
I'm
Your
glad
turn.
I argued that. Okay. And then Ryolu, foresight again.
Wisdom save.
That is a 23. 22.
Of course he
Jesus.
passes. Okay. No
and
problem.
as a reaction, the man calls out, Clefairy, use Encore!
Even when it's not a...
It's a reaction.
But aren't most reactions to a melee attack?
Not necessarily.
Okay.
Reaction can be to anything.
Like a counterspell.
Yeah. What are you doing? The Clefairy holds up its hands and it kind of goes, wiggles its fingers a little bit.
Wiggle,
Quick
wiggle,
attack.
wiggle.
Okay. Your Riolu goes to try and make a quick attack, but it's stuck in this loop, and it's just continually trying to study the Clefairy. It can only use foresight for one more turn.
So it has to use it for one more turn?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it doesn't have to, but that's the only attack it can use.
Okay.
It's the only move it can use.
So I can't even use reactions?
No.
Okay.
Oh, jeez.
Okay. The man smiles and he says, perfect. Step back a little. And why don't you sing it a sweet tune? And the Clefairy steps back to about there. And you hear it start singing. And I don't have enough D8s.
I hate these types of fairy type Pokemon. Like, legitimately.
Oh, jeez. Well, that was a lot
Okay.
of dice.
30. How many HP does your Riolu have?
32.
Oh! Wow. Your Riolu slowly drifting off to sleep. And it shakes it off.
Fuck yeah, those temporary hit points.
Yeah. Just barely doesn't cut through it.
You
The
realize
Clefairy
the
looks
2 is the
so
temporary hit
surprised.
points Brooke gives him after rest, right?
Jeez. That's the end of his turn. Rhett looks disappointed.
Okay. Ryolu can only do foresight, but that's the first thing Brooke would have told him to do anyway.
Okay. So save, that's a 21.
Okay. Can he still move?
You can move.
Just can't use any other move.
Just stay up on top of it.
Keep on his ass. Because it's at the end of his turn, he can start doing other stuff.
Yes.
Perfect.
So at the end of my turn.
Yeah.
So I can get reactions, potentially.
He says, all right, Clefairy, use Spotlight again. Clefairy holds up its hands and this bright light comes down on you.
Dex save?
Yes, please.
9.
9. This time, not fast enough. The light smokes Riolu in the eyes, and he's temporarily blinded. He's having a hard time seeing this Clefairy and what it's doing. Attacks on your Riolu are going to be made at advantage.
Do they affect his attacks against creatures?
No.
Okay.
It's just this bright spotlight is shining down on him. Make him easier to
Okay.
hit. Your turn.
Okay. Foresight again.
That's an 18.
Quick attack.
Jeez. Fucking Clefairy. Oh, jeez.
I'm going to use my reaction to impose disadvantage on you
Wow.
using Clefairy's cute charm.
It was it was a 3.
3.
Plus his modifier, but yeah.
Okay. Ryolu goes to hit the Clefairy and is kind of a little infatuated for a second. Really pulls its punches.
Ooh la la.
Or
Wow.
this is just be the sound effect for any for those types of attacks.
Red's gonna say, "You gotta do something, Clefairy. Try double slap." And the Clefairy holds up one hand. Does a 6 hit you?
That's a miss, almost guaranteed.
Okay. Oh, it has advantage though.
Yeah.
Does a plus. Does a 11 hit you?
No.
No. The Clefairy misses. Just fans the air.
Looks like you're sweating there. Sorry. Your name wasn't important enough to remember. Ryolu, Foresight.
That is a 22.
Okay.
Jesus.
Ryolu, Quick Attack. Ooh. 18.
18 hits.
Modified 20.
This time Ryolu gets right in there and smokes the Clefairy.
Ooh, there we go.
4 damage.
4 points of normal damage.
Okay. The Clefairy stumbles back a little bit. You can see a small bruise on it, and it grunts.
Whew! I know. Pretty and powerful. Just don't mix.
Oh, and it needs to see if it maintains its concentration on Spotlight, which it does. Okay.
Oh, you could have countered before, couldn't you?
The Clefairy's going to run back up on you and try
Oh,
to
maybe.
go in for another double slap. Oh, it has advantage. Because Spotlight. That is a 14.
14 hits, and
Okay.
Ryolu will counter after.
Hell yeah.
Okay, you are going to take 5 points of damage.
Normal type?
Of, normal type damage. Plus it attacks again. You're going to take another 5 points. And it's going to slap again. And you take another 3 points. And it's going to slap again.
Jesus.
And that time it misses.
Okay, and I
So
counter,
it just went to town. Slap, slap, slap.
and I counter and I miss.
All right. It is now your turn.
Ryolu, Foresight again. She's gotta fail eventually.
That is a 20. It's rolling really high on these rolls.
Yep. It's okay. Quick Attack. So do they have proficiency on top of their attacks?
To hit, yep. So it's plus
17.
2. That hits. The Ryolu comes in for another hit and slams into.
Man, it's like a Fury attack, and Fury
5.
attack is mean.
It's a lot. 5?
Yep.
Not bad. This Clefairy starting to take some serious damage.
What is it to... I probably can't do it yet, and I kind of regret it. But how do you heal a Pokemon in battle?
With a potion, you have to move up to it and use your action.
Okay. But Brooke still has her movement, so...
Yeah.
Running!
Okay. Rhett sort of grits his teeth a little bit, and he says, Clefairy, you gotta do something. But put it to sleep.
Roll low.
Though it did do a good chunk of damage just now.
That's 27.
That puts Ryolu to sleep.
Okay. The Clefairy sort of backs up a little bit and starts singing. And your Ryolu falls to sleep. Sleeping is a status in this.
I would assume so.
I'm just pulling up the statuses. Where are your statuses? There it is. Asleep. A creature that is asleep is incapacitated and restrained for a maximum of 3 rounds. Failing all strength and dex saves during this time, a sleeping creature can take a DC 12 wisdom save as a bonus action at the beginning of each of its turns to attempt to wake up.
Oh,
Okay?
you might even just be fine.
Might. Just gotta roll a 12.
And the Clefairy is going to move right there.
Okay.
Your turn.
Okay. Rook is gonna shift around here and give Ryolu her last potion.
Okay, you sort of bend over and you spray this little bottle at it, healing its wounds. Does not wake up though.
That's fine. For a total of 8 points.
Okay. So Ryolu continues to stay asleep.
And then Ryolu's gonna make, you said wisdom save?
Can't. You used its action.
You said it was a bonus action.
Yeah, your action is to command it to do stuff. You're not commanding it to wake up or do anything. So it'd be at the beginning of your next turn. It's the same thing like in a turn of the game. You can't. If you choose to do something else on that turn, it
Yep.
doesn't count as it being a turn to wake up.
There's
still
also
a maximum of
there's
2 more
also
turns.
not actions and bonus actions in the game,
Yeah, I know.
so
Um,
that was
Okay.
a fair assessment that I could have made.
the Clefairy's gonna go and try to make another double slap at you. That is not good. That's a 6.
Miss.
Misses the sleeping Pokemon. Oh, you're restrained, so it has advantage.
Well, spotlight too.
And Spotlight. That is 22.
Ah.
Yep.
That hits. You are going to take... that is...
I'm not even
6
rules
points.
lawyering, and he's remembering to roll with advantage. Hate it.
That is 6 points of normal type damage. It's going to try again, and it hits again. That is another... Ooh, that one is 6 points of normal damage. It's going to hit again, and it does. And that's another 5 points. And it misses.
I was right.
Slap, 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 slap. Okay, your turn.
Okay.
Beginning of your turn, bonus action.
He's gonna try and wake up.
Grab a brush and put a little
Wisdom
makeup.
save needs to be over a 12.
That's a 6.
Ryolu is still sleeping on the ground.
Okay.
This little Clefairy standing over him.
There rules about. That was a bonus action.
Yeah.
Do I still technically have an action?
No, your action is command them to do their stuff. Your action allows the Pokemon to do stuff.
Well, wouldn't the Pokemon already be making the save regardless?
That's
Because
my
isn't
argument.
there a
It's-
chance for the Pokemon to wake up even if you were going to use a potion on it in game?
I feel like in game, Steve, like to some extent it makes sense, but on the other side, like in the actual Pokemon game, like,
they're not really commanding it to try to wake up.
yeah.
It's just trying to wake up.
It specifies that it takes a bonus action to do so, and it can't take a bonus action unless it's commanded to do something.
Damn. But the mechanics honestly just don't make sense to me because
It's because trainer and Pokemon are so compatico? Whatever.
okay,
Simpatico.
no, but hear my argument though. It's my action to command a Pokemon to take it to do anything, but yet it's like when you say it like that, it sounds like Brooke takes an action, Ryulu takes an action, and that
No,
sounds
your action
silly
is
to
to
me.
tell the Ryolu to do exactly what it needs to do, right? It will not act unless you command it to do so. Because that is the bond between Pokemon and trainer.
Going over all the rules in my head, is there any rule against moving my Pokemon in a battle physically myself?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. End of turn.
Okay. Okay. Red is gonna look at his Clefairy and say, "Quickly! Clefairy, finish it! Double slap!" That is an 11.
It's a miss.
Sorry, with advantage. That is still an 11.
It's a miss.
Hell yeah.
Your turn. This is your third turn, so either you save this time or you automatically wake up at the beginning of your next turn.
It won't matter anyway because you can't attack.
Why can't
But he
you?
could.
Because his bonus action is quick attack.
Yeah, you can use an action to use a bonus action.
It doesn't work anyway.
Okay. Ryolu is still asleep on the ground.
No.
Could this be the end of the Pokemon Pageantry?
No, because I'm going to threaten to sue.
We have our ways.
The Clefairy winds up for another slap and misses with a 10.
With me. Ryolu's got Endure. He's got like 4 things that work off of each other. Okay. So Ryolu is awake.
Wake up.
Ryolu wakes up at the beginning of his turn. With his
Grabs the
bonus
brush and puts a
action.
little makeup.
How's this Clefairy looking?
It's hard to say. It's taken some damage. It's not bloodied yet.
I can use my action to make
A
a bonus
Yeah.
action.
'Cause
Well,
you
And then I
used your
can
action.
still
You
use
used
that
your
bonus action
action.
again.
Sorry?
So could I technically do 2 quick attacks?
No, because your bonus action was to wake up.
Okay. I thought I just naturally wake up on this turn.
Oh, so
It's still a bonus action to wake up. Yeah, you just automatically succeed on the fourth because it only lasts a
That is
maximum of 3
bullshit.
times.
Okay, he will
Don't
use
fall
quick
asleep.
attack then.
Can you use quick attacks in action?
Yeah, well, he just said I can.
Yeah,
Perfect.
Better not be fucking lying to me. 13.
13 just hits.
2.
2 points of damage. This Clefairy seems a little shocked that you woke up.
Wonder if it's seen many fights then, because it lasted the maximum amount of time that its move could.
The Clefairy goes in for another double slap.
wake up again.
Oh, that is a... so its spotlight fails. It does not hold concentration on it. And it misses its attack with a 3.
Good.
Fuck him up, Raoul.
So,
This Clefairy is really fanning. It is
my original question
under
stands.
pressure.
Can I use a bonus attack as an attack and then use that same bonus attack as my bonus attack if it's a bonus attack move? Can I make 2 quick attack moves?
Technically, you could. Yeah.
Fine. I'm just going to risk it.
Because you can use multiple moves in a turn. There's nothing against... You can use an action to use a bonus action. So, yeah.
Ryolu, just fuck him up. Quick attack.
Twice.
Multiple consecutive punches.
And he misses.
The first one.
Yep. And then I'm going to say, don't worry, shift around him. So he's going to shift, and I'm going to go here.
You fucking...
No rule against it!
I mean, there probably actually is. Because the idea of flanking is you're actively harrying the other Pokemon.
You
It's
have-
not just you standing there.
You have to get into combat to heal your Pokemon.
right,
I
but
know,
the idea
but
of
you are not
flanking
a
is
threat to
you're
the
actively
Clefairy.
being a threat.
Fine.
It's not like wild situations where you are physically punching the Pokemon. As
That's
you
still a
guys do.
17.
It's still 17. That hits.
2.
Another 2 points of damage. You're chipping down at this Clefairy.
2 more PP. How many more PP does he have for his quick attack?
Let's 2 more of that. 15.
Okay. This Clefairy's going to go in for more.
More slaps.
Nope.
Oh, I
It's going to
should've
use
countered.
Spotlight.
I forgot to counter.
Give me
Oh.
a deck save.
13.
13.
13. Beats it. Spotlight comes down again, and Riley dodges out of it.
This Clefairy's lucky that I forgot a head counter.
But have you
In
been
the
hit
front.
by? Have you been hit by one since you woke back up?
Oh, no. He
Not
missed
since
me.
you woke
He
up,
missed
no.
me. Never mind. He missed me.
Miss me with that shit.
Okay. I'm just gonna fucking try 2 quick attacks again.
'Kay.
10 is gonna miss. That'll hit.
14.
17.
Oh, 17
hits.
Yep.
Ooh.
Oh, there we go.
5.
5 more points of damage. Now this Clefairy's starting to look hurt. Okay. He's looking a little hot under the collar, and Brett yells, "You gotta finish this, Clefairy!" Sorry, only one. Cock. That is a 8.
Miss.
Clefairy likewise is
Freaking
very
out.
Quick
nervous.
attack him again. 2 times. That hits.
Modified 20.
5.
Max damage.
Okay. Clefairy's still standing, but it's barely standing.
Again, Ryolu. That's a miss.
6.
6.
For the people at home, say out the
6.
numbers.
Sorry.
No, it's all good. It's just because when we are doing the podcast version, they can't see anything.
Clefairy's going for another double slap.
That's right.
That's a 5.
Okay.
They've gotten very nervous very suddenly.
I turn around and look at him, and I was like, oh, feeling a little hot under the collar, sweating a bit, and then 2 more quick attacks.
Modified 20.
That's a hit.
That does hit.
17 modified 20. 4.
How do you want to finish him?
Yes!
I want him to, like,
Motherfuckers gotta drop out now.
jump and, like, spin kick him in the head.
Okay. The Clefairy just flies off. Midair.
Looks like you only bred pretty.
The Pokemon disappears.
Too
into
bad I
its
couldn't
Pokeball.
see the same for you. Snap. And then I fist bump Ryolu. And flip him the bird. And then say, oh yeah! And it doesn't look like you have a Pokemon anymore. And what was our deal again? Looks like Jackson's cleaning this one up.
He picks up his Pokeball. He shakes his fist at you and he says, "You will rue the day.
Oh, it's
This isn't the end."
It's such a shame to see one with such pedigree have to walk away from a pageant.
This isn't over. This isn't the last you've heard of the bank's name.
Sorry,
I've heard
powerful.
of lots
The
of
what
banks.
Franks?
I heard tanks.
Waves you off and he starts walking away. Not even towards town, just out of town. Because you guys are standing towards town. And he doesn't want to walk by you.
Bye, Dad. All right, well, let's go back to the pageant then.
Ryu, you just eliminated the competition. Fist bump.
I'm a fist bump him too.
Okay. You guys walk back to the green room and you see a number of people kind of like watch you to enter. How's Ryolu looking right now?
He's at 10.
A 10.
Out
So
of
he's
30.
a little beat up. He kind of walks in with some cuts and scrapes, but he looks pretty proud. It's
Yeah.
kind of like his...
That's the swagger we've been looking for. He's still wearing my leather jacket, by the way.
Yeah, he is.
And I'm like, oh, it's missing something. Shades.
A gentleman walks in and he says, "Everyone, you're needed on stage. It's time for round 3. Round 3, all of you get up there." And the contestants start filing out.
Walking on up.
Walking on up
All of us?
to the stage.
And I'll hand.
They're not going to kick me out?
I will hand Brooke one of my potions.
They're not going to kick me out?
No,
He's the one who made the bargain.
Fuck the pageant.
this is the world of fashion. They're used to drama.
Oh
and divas.
my God! Yes, they are.
Okay. You guys walk up there,
There we go.
and you see everybody stand.
9.
He's at 19 points because Jackson gave me a potion.
Okay.
And then before we go out, Brooke's going to be like, do more of that.
How much PP does he have left?
For quick attack.
3.
Enough.
3 PP.
You guys walk, and you kind of get in a line on the back of the stage. And Melody walks forward, and she says, "And now for the most anticipated of all of our judging rounds. Round 3, the performances. Each contestant will come out here and use 2 moves in their performance to wow the judges
It's good that I didn't practice anymore.
We
than
wait.
just the 2.
with bated breath." Ooh. And she walks
Ooh.
off stage. The first person to go up is Lars with his Caterpie.
Is he going to
String
screenshot
shot
like
the
it's
audience.
his birthday?
And Lars waves to everybody, and the Caterpie sort of waves a little bit in its wormy-like way and goes, and he says, "All right, Caterpie, hey, why don't we do string shot? String shot!" And the Caterpie shoots up in the center of the air, just this big thing of string shot. And it looks like a halo above its head.
Ooh.
And the judges, ooh. And the crowd goes, ah. And then he says, yeah, that was good. Do it again. The Caterpie goes for another string shot. This time, it kind of dissipates a bit more, and you can see like little globules landing all over the stage, just like.
Clean up on.
And you hear one guy in the audience go, "Ew."
Fuck the pageant.
Now we get to find out how the scoring works. Well, I mean, we will after this round.
Okay.
Minus Dickhead and his Clefairy.
Ooh. He walks away, and the crowd very politely claps.
I will also.
Boyd walks up with his Sentret, and he leans down and he kind of ruffles the fur of his Sentret a little bit, and he says, All right, there, boy. You got this. Just go out there and give it your best. And the Sentret looks up at him and with its dead eyes and goes, beep, beep. And he says, that's the spirit. And the Sentret sort of wiggles its way out there and it stands on its tail. And he says, Sentret, use foresight. And the Sentret stares out into the crowd and studies them all. And he sees right through the judges. And then he says, you got him right where you want him. Now, show him a defense curl. And the Sentret rolls into this ball.
Does it Samus itself around the stage?
No, it just rolls into a ball. And then the light gleams on it and it goes, shing! The crowd just kind of looks at him and it's
Sure.
quiet. Not much going on.
I'll
And,
clap.
Boyd kind of looks over at you. He's like, hey, yeah. Oh. Catherine walks out with her Bellsprout and she kind of prods it on. She says, you got this. Just show them your best. And the Bellsprout wiggles out there. And she says, Bellsprout, use Vine Whip.
But watch out for the innocents.
As it's whipping,
Oh no. The innocents.
it's up on stage, so it is a safe distance away, but not for itself. And it ends up tripping itself. And she says, "Oh, use absorb." And you see this bright glow sort of appear around it as it lies on the ground, having tripped itself.
Oh
And then
no.
the
Poor Bellsprout.
Bellsprout sort of slowly gets up and goes back. And she holds it kind of close and picks it up. The little girl goes over with her Glameow. And the Glameow slinks out onto stage.
Looking fly as fuck.
It is a pretty Pokemon.
Glameow, the pretty Pokemon.
And she says, Glameow, use hypnosis. And the Glameow sits perfectly on the stage and it looks out. And you see everybody slowly start getting drawn into the Glameow's eyes.
That's a good strategy.
Yep.
And they all seem entirely entranced. You see one guy start drooling.
Ew.
And she says, now, Glameow, use growl. It's not a very enthusiastic growl. It's like, but the crowd is so drawn in that some of them go and back up in their seats. They seem very taken by the Glameow.
I wonder if that hypnosis is going to keep going forward.
I hope so.
Okay. The Glameow moves backwards, and as it does, the crowd sort of shakes it off and...
Damn it.
Oh, look out. Then the spotlight moves to an empty spot beside you. And there's crickets. People are looking around a little uncomfortably. And Melody sort of stands up and says, where is Mr. Banks?
Oh, I thought I saw him battling with someone out front and his Clefairy fainted. He had to take it to the Pokemon Center.
Oh, well, I guess Mr. Banks is disqualified then. All right, well, let the show
I
continue.
was gonna say he got caught by cheating and fled in shame.
Jackson, the spotlight moves over to yourself and Bonsly.
All right, Billy, you know the drill. Go out there, rock throw, and low kick it. You got this.
Bonsly moves over there.
Since we practiced, do I get to do it with advantage?
Yeah, I figured.
But make your first attack.
Nat 20.
Nat 20.
No advantage needed.
You can make your low kick with advantage for that.
14
so
and
that would be
14.
I'm pretty sure that makes it an 18. Let me double check. Yeah, 18.
Bonsly summons this rock into midair and throws it straight up. The crowd all watches it as it goes up. And then they watch as it slowly stops and starts to come back down towards the earth. And just as it looks like it's about to smoke your Bonsly, he does this wicked spin, no further than an inch off the ground, and just catches the rock on the tip of its toe, and then it stops. And then suddenly this little crack starts to form on the rock. And then it just shatters into sand. And the crowd erupts in clapping. Can you give me a performance check with advantage?
Hell yes, I can. 18.
Not bad. The crowd is stunned. Everybody claps. There's cheering. There's hooting and hollering. The judges, likewise, seem very impressed. The woman nods her head at you.
I'll give her a little bow.
Brooke, the light turns to you.
Okay, Raelu. 2 quick attack.
Okay.
And he's wearing my sunglasses and my coat.
He moves forward onto the stage,
Strut your stuff like you did in the fight.
Like the Squirtle Squad.
and he tries to strut, and he goes in for a quick attack in the form of like a somersault backwards. Give me a quick attack. Is that a nat 1 again?
Nope,
No, it's a
it's a 7. So it's
I
a
got
10?
very excited for a second.
it's a 10.
Okay. He loses his balance as he moves backwards, and he catches himself so he doesn't fall, but the move is definitely not successful. Give me a second attack.
There we go. 16.
Yeah.
Much better.
I was
He
like,
fumbles the first one,
one.
but he comes back with a second that seems to land. Can you give me a performance check? Just straight.
Oh, no.
That one.
There's the other nat 1.
Okay.
He's a fighter, not a shower.
He sort of lands, and he's shaking so much. He's looking out over the stage,
Raelu,
and he
Raelu,
looks back at you.
Raelu, you did it! But you did it!
The crowd doesn't know what to make of it.
Is he not moving?
He's not moving. He's just like frozen there in place.
And Brooke comes out and says, like I said, fuck the pageant! And then she grabs Raelu.
And runs off. Okay. The spotlight goes out for a second, and Melody walks up to the stage, and she motions to all of you, and then she motions back to the audience, and she says, well, wasn't that wonderful? So, the judges are going to deliberate. We will give them a few moments, and we will invite you back on stage to let you know who won. Thank you, all of you contestants. And just so you know, even those who don't win are, well, you're still winners. Just not of this competition. Thank you. We will call you
You're
back.
the last winner.
The other contestants slowly start leading off. Brooke is already gone.
Yeah.
With Ryle.
I'm gonna hoist Billy up onto my shoulder.
No, I
'cause I'm
wouldn't
super
leave.
proud
I
of him.
want to see if Jackson is gonna win. I just ran off backstage with him.
I honestly don't know how you consistently rolled a 1 for each round.
Yeah,
I
that was
don't
literally
want to
every
talk
round.
about it.
Every round.
I decided she wasn't a charismatic character, and being on stage was going to be frightening, and apparently it just rubbed off onto Ryolu.
Yep. The dice knew.
The dice was like, oh, he's fucking nervous now.
Let
now I
me
have a
just tally up these points.
33.1 pound rock sitting on my shoulder, rubbing it, being like, Billy, you did really good. I'm trying not to sound surprised, but that was even better than I thought it would be. That was, might I say, badass?
I gotta tally up all the points.
So badass that the accent was fading for a second there.
Oh, so bad.
Oh, no.
Everyone was surprised.
If only the Glameow used hypnosis right before me, and then I could have used that as well. Copycat.
That would have been funny.
And then copycat, and then fake tear. Hypnotize them, then make them feel feelings.
And then make him cry.
But I think the way it went was ridiculous.
Brooke needs a doctor.
Brooke literally broke her wrist. Failed so hard.
Meanwhile, the little potted plant was just like, I'm not even picturing like any sort of grace or whatever surrounding anything that happened on stage there. It's just he goes up on stage, rock goes up into the air, just staring deadpan out of the audience. Then just toe comes up, boop, puts it back down, and just turns around and walks off.
Except for he would definitely fall a few times.
Yeah.
Okay, Ryulu's loyalty to me better go up a fucking lot. He didn't want to walk away, and I embarrassed myself repeatedly on stage and broke my wrist.
And then he got to beat up the competition.
Yep. It's more the emotional attachment of the fact that Brick broke her wrist
Yeah.
and then continued to go on stage and make a fool of herself for him because he didn't want to leave even though she said he could.
Yep.
Better up his loyalty. That's all I gotta say.
None of my Pokemon are loyal at all yet. They're all at 0. Even Billy.
It's because Billy fainted and
Yeah.
then I nat 20'd the minus away.
Yep. Oh, he gets stabbed, so that rock throw would have been even better, actually. Oh, no, that just applies to the damage, not the attack roll, I think.
Basically, Brooke's all about, my Pokemon doesn't like me anymore. I'm going to give him a pep talk into
Yep.
loving me again. And I'm going to cry.
So how does stab work? Does it get added to the damage and the attack roll, or just
damage.
Just damage. Okay.
So proficiency is attack.
Yeah, and stab is
stab
damage.
is damage. Yeah.
Sweet. Sweet. Speaking of sweet, beat up Jonathan some more.
I totally came in last.
Actually, technically, second last, at the very least. Because Buddy got disqualified, so he's last.
I couldn't even get myself disqualified.
And who knows, maybe the judges are going to be like, no, we admire your spunk and telling us to fuck ourselves.
I doubt it. Minus scores for every time I gave them the finger and said fuck.
Maybe that's why you were rolling so many nat ones, from all the birds you were flipping. One for each bird.
The man in the headset comes into the green room and he says, "All right, we're ready to announce the winners. Can we have you all back up on the stage?"
Yep. Billy's on my shoulder still and walking up.
What do you think, Ryolu? We going back out there?
Ryolu looks at you, and he's still holding the same pose he was that he left off, and he's just shaking.
I just pick him up and cradle him as much as I can with my broken wrist. Better love me to death after this.
You two are a disaster. And everybody piles back on stage. And Melody comes out and she says, "All right, the judges would like you to know that they enjoyed all of your performances."
Bullshit.
But here are the 3 they enjoyed the most.
I mean, I don't. No, I keep my statement.
I know what I said.
She says, "All right, firstly, in 6th place," she comes over and she says, "Brooke and Ryolu, congratulations." She hands you this small little ribbon. It's green. It says 6th place.
Okay. Wasn't there only... How many people were there?
7,
Okay.
including
Okay.
Brett.
Rhett Banks.
Yes, Rhett Banks.
And then she walks
Det
over
Tanks.
and she says, "In 5th place,
Lars.
Catherine."
Oh, no.
Yes. You made me second guess. Catherine and her Bellsprout. And she walks over and she says, "Congratulations." Hands her this little green ribbon. It says 5th place. And the Bellsprout kind of wilts a little bit. She says, "In 4th place, Lars and his Caterpie." And she walks over to Lars and she gives him another ribbon. And she says, "Everyone, please clap for your contenders."
I can't clap. I'm holding Ryolu.
And you have a broken wrist.
She says, "And
I
now,"
mean, you could do the you could do the Samus clap, the smash up on the forearm.
she says,
Ow, 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 ow.
ow, 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 ow.
"In 3rd place with 37 points." There's a hush over the crowd.
I'm legitimately a little anxious right now.
"Boyd and his Sentret." And he kind of picks up his hat and he throws it up and he goes, "Yeah!" And the Sentret sort of jumps up on its tail and goes, "Meep, meep, meep, meep." And she walks over and she hands him a little ribbon and says, "Congratulations." And he leans over and gives her a big hug. And he says, "Oh, thank you, darling. Oh, I'm so happy." And she backs up. She says, yes, that's quite enough. And now the moment you've all been waiting for. In 2nd place, with 42 points. This was a very tight race. Zoe and her Glameow. Yes! And Zoe goes out, and she's just bawling all over the place, and the Glameow is practically like holding her up.
Jackson!
She gives her her little ribbon, and she bends over, and she says, "You did very good, honey. You should be very proud." And she's just, I am so happy. I love you, Glameow. Ah! And the Glameow's like, oh, meow.
But audibly goes, ugh.
And then the woman comes over to you and says,
Jackson.
in 1st place
Jackson.
with 46
Jackson.
points,
Jackson.
Jackson
Jackson.
and his Bonsly.
Woo!
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And of course, this comes with the cash prize of 5,000 Pokebucks and your own Kingstone.
Perfect. Thank you so much. This was so much fun.
The guy in the headset comes over and he's got this great big bag and he kind of hands it to you. And he takes out this little rock and it's kind of a semicircle shape with little peaks that look crown-like. And he hands it to you as well. And he says, "Congratulations, man." And he leaves. And Melody turns around and she says, "Once again for our contenders, a round of applause."
Fuck the pageant.
And everybody claps. And it's very happy and joyous and it's wonderful.
Giving Billy a big ol' hug. And tying the blue ribbon around his left little nubby thing on his head.
He is so happy. He is crying more than usual.
I'm going to assume those are tears of joy.
He's such a pageant queen.
Did I just turn Jackson into a pageant mom?
Melody turns back to the crowd and says, "Thank you, everybody. We will be having another show later this year. Please come back. We'd love to have you. Take care, everyone." And she points over and she says, "And a final round of applause to our judges who spent their time here today with us. We have our mayor, Frederick Bumble." And he sort of stands up and waves. And he says, "And of course, our resident gym leader, Ariana Billings." And she stands up and she looks around.
Don't know why I didn't see that coming, but
That's our job.
Ariana, what was it?
Billings.
Billings. Not that Jackson will get her name right anyways. Ariados, I thought that was a Pokemon's name.
And she claps and she says, "Good night, everybody! Good night!" And the crowd slowly starts to disperse, and she turns around and she says, "Congratulations! Honestly, you did very well. You should take part in more of our shows.
I think
You have a young star in the making there."
Yes, Billy. Billy seems like he might have a future in this. Look at that smile!
She says,
Jackson
"Oh,
is now
isn't he just
pageant grandma.
darling?"
Oh, I love him.
And I do wonder what happened to Rhett. It's not like a Banks to not stick around to the end of a show. It's most peculiar.
Yeah, the truth is rather scandalous.
Oh, very much so.
I imagine it must be. Well,
You know any reporters in town that like a good story?
I'm sorry, reporters?
Yeah, you know, that might want to hear about all the scandals of the pageant.
Oh no, you can't defame the pageant. This is
Oh, no.
the Pokepageant is
Not
is
you.
renowned all across Wundoro. You couldn't.
Not the pageant. Just
I understand. You've
Right.
got this whole punk rock sort of thing going for you, right? F the establishment, right? And it really
Wait, I thought you said fuck the establishment.
it
it did.
it's not really working for you. I'm just gonna put it out there. You did very poorly. Maybe pageantry isn't for your Riolu. And you should really get your arm checked. It looks very painful. Have a good night. Take care. She turns and leaves.
And I now have a polka dot scarf. I'm gonna add one
Polka dot scarf. Yellow and purple.
The old woman, Catherine, comes up to you. She's sort of shaking her hips a little bit as she does so. The Bellsprout is doing so also in time, sort of wiggling as she comes up to you and she says,
Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle.
"Well, you're a big-time star now, young man.
I don't know about big time, but
Look at
call it beginner's luck.
How much older is she than Jackson?
I mean, if she's been doing stuff in the fields for like 80 years, she's been working longer than he's been alive. He's 72.
He's just a young man." She says,
I'm not gonna ask. I know better than that.
I was asking from a player perspective, not a Brooke being nosy perspective. I wanted to more be like, should I encourage him to go on a date, or is Jackson uncomfortable?
She says, "Well, you've got fat stacks of cash now. What is a strapping young man such as yourself going to
digger.
I was just about to make
this money?"
I don't dabble with gold. No. Yeah,
Does Jackson appear like he needs an out?
no.
Okay.
He doesn't really actually realize what the fuck's going on, to be honest.
okay.
But probably go out and buy some stuff to keep on adventuring.
Oh, a trainer, are you?
Yes, I've been traveling around with my granddaughter here.
Yep.
Oh, isn't that lovely? Are you taking the Pokemon challenge then?
Yes.
Oh, I think Raiola will excel at the
Ah,
gym.
So I imagine you will be facing the gym leader, Ariana. She's very powerful, you know.
We haven't heard much about her until literally tonight.
What kind of Pokemon she got?
Well, and she points off into the distance. There's this big building that you can see off. It's looked odd every time that you walked by. You can see it from almost anywhere in town because it's one of the biggest. It looks like a giant cage with brambles that climb all the way up the sides and all the way around it. But it's still exposed in a good bit. There's a smaller building that comes off of it. And she says, "Well, what sort of Pokemon do you think they keep in a bird cage such as that?"
Oh, a bird cage, you say?
It's an Avery.
He says, "I wish you luck in your travels. I'm sure our paths will cross again."
I hope so. It has been nothing but pleasant talking with you, Katie.
She,
Another type that Raiola is vulnerable to.
But a type that fucking Billy can slay.
she winks at you and she says, "Till next time."
Pat her on the back. Get it out.
Oh, these old lungs. I should have stopped smoking in my 60s.
He's like holding up to his mother.
Wanders away.
There's some sort of comment in there about her still being smoking hot, but
She's probably pretty haggard looking. How does Raiola look?
Defeated. Utterly defeated. He looks tired. He looks sore. He looks anxious. And he looks pretty sad. Like, he looks very beaten. The exact opposite of Bonsly, who is, like, glowing. His tears are, like, projectile off his face, like, getting people around him wet. They walk by and they're like, oh.
like Deku crying himself into the ground with such force.
Everybody else slowly starts to pack up and leave.
What do you say, Raiola? Why don't we get you to the Pokemon Center? Get you healed up.
Rilo just looks down. Oh.
And then let's say we tear this apart later. And she shows him the ribbon. We can do better than this. You're a fighter, not a pageant queen.
And you showed that snotty asshole what for earlier today as well, Riolu.
Damn straight you did.
Who knows if me and Billy would have won had you not knocked him out of the competition.
Yeah.
Would have been close.
He's not wrong. Different skill set.
Milo sort of nods and he straightens up a little bit, but he still just looks down.
Let's get you healed up, and then me.
He starts walking towards the Pokemon Center.
Can I inspect her arm to see if it's actually broken?
Give me a medicine check.
Is there anything added onto that? I think my wisdom is my one that's not. That's
good.
Billy.
What is Billy's medicine check?
Not going to be better than mine. No, it's just 17.
17? As far as you can tell, like just looking at it, it doesn't actually look broken, but possibly sprained or hurt in
Even
some
with
other way.
I rolled a nat 1 and you said there was a snapping sound. And it's not broken?
Wasn't that severe.
On a nat 1? I was pretty sure it was.
Yeah, well, if it's any consolation, it's not broken. It looks like just a bad sprain.
Well,
You still get attended to, but might even be able to just get some fluctuate between icy and hot. See if the swelling goes down and if it feels better.
I mean, at least I wrapped it
Yeah.
in this polka dot scarf. Fuck the pageant. And I take Riolo to the Pokemon Center.
I will follow.
Okay. And I think that is probably a good time to end this one.
Sweet.
That was fun.
That was a lot of fun. That was a surprising amount of fun considering it was pageantry.
Stupidly silly.
And yeah, you honestly won absolutely fairly. Like 100%. None of the numbers were fudged or anything. It was really close between you and Zoe.
What was
And
the point difference between me? Because she got, what, 42?
42 and you were 46. Honestly, Zoe probably would have won if she hadn't have screwed up her last round so bad.
Oh, yep. Yeah, because you got the hypnosis, but then the other thing didn't work out so well for her.
Yeah. Brooke, you legitimately got last place. Like, no contest. You only had 8 points.
Is that supposed to surprise me?
Likewise, each article of clothing that you put on your Pokemon had a different point value. If you put too many articles on,
It would
you
just
got
subtract them.
negative. The only person who put too much stuff on their Pokemon, though, was Zoe.
So it was 4 articles would be too much?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
Oh, thank God.
Did I get docked points for putting sunglasses on him
no.
that weren't from the box?
No.
So that guy didn't technically cheat.
No.
Okay.
Did I get docked points for saying fuck the pageant?
You can't get lower than a 1.
I can be penalized, though. I can be penalized.
Not lower than a
Oh,
1.
so it would be whatever we rolled was our points for that.
Largely, yeah.
With certain
Plus,
bonuses.
exactly.
Thank God for that nat fucking 20 and then an 18. And then, what, a 17? That last
something like
round
that.
was real good.
Yep. That was fun. I liked that one.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
I liked that one.
Well,
So much fun stuff to be done. Outro music.
outro music.
Now I have to figure out how my fighting type Pokemon,
Is gonna
which is vulnerable to flying, my bug Pokemon,
Also
Which is-
vulnerable to flying.
Vulnerable to flying.
Meowth could do decently.
Yeah.
What other ones do you have?
A Spinarak?
Oh, that's right. The Spinarak, Wurmple. Yeah, Meowth is really the only one.
Yeah,
And
and
it's not vulnerable.
Ryulu needs this.
Yeah. Billy's gonna be fine.
Well, Pokemon trainers are known to go out and seek out
I know.
Pokemon.
I want
like
a Chimchar.
like Chimchars.
fire type. Well,
I mean, a fire type
Yeah.
would be better than a fighting type.
yes,
Or a bug type.
potentially.
And I mean,
you also
there's
don't
the
know what
Zigzagoon and
Pokemon-
stuff like that is out there as well.
Yep, there's lots. And I mean, you've only looked around, like, you guys passed directly through Route 1 and the Wurmple Hollow, but you didn't spend too much time there. You
Yeah,
can
so
always
we can
go
always
back
go back
more.
and look for more.
There's also Route 2,
Pokemon.
which is accessible, that you can go back and search.
Yeah.
And there is an additional way out of town that you have
Yeah,
not
Route 3?
gone to. It's actually Route 8.
I just wanted the Chimchar too.
We might be able to find it.
Come on.
You don't know. The
Crippled-
mangled, the crippled Chimchar.
Crippled Chimchar is right up Brooke's alley of something she would need to take care of.
You don't know.
Oh, now
It
I'm trying
may
to think of a
happen.
Pun name for a crippled monkey. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. That wouldn't also be horribly offensive.
Yeah.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So, any other closing remarks from you guys?
None that I can think of. Thanks again to Joe the DM. Thanks again to Kevin McLeod. Thanks again to Uwoobi.
Yeah, thanks everybody who's helped make this possible.
Yep.
And fuck the pageant!
Yep.
Be sure to like, subscribe, share with all your friends and family.
Yep. And if you have Amazon Prime and you have a Twitch account, feel free to offer us a Prime subscription if you feel we're worthy of it. We appreciate all of the support that we get.
Yeah, we're gonna be back on Friday with our typical Friday.
With some Denki Kang.
live stream.
Yeah, some more Denki Kang.
And then our next Pokemon will be on the 17th,
2 weeks from today.
7 o'clock MST.
Mst.
And if you're viewing this in the past, well, or the future, I guess.
Yeah, the future.
If
If you're doing this in the past, let us know your time traveling secrets.
Or don't, because time travel can be dangerous.
Actually, yeah, that might fall into some of the time travel paradoxes that cause time to collapse in on itself, and I like existing, so don't do that.
This is a good time to mention the second copy of Matt that just ran in the room, warning us
shit.
about the secrets of time travel. Matt, what are you doing? Matt! Good night.
Have a good night, guys. To be fair, multiple Matts is canon on YouTube, at least. There's Boss Matt, there's me, and there's Future Matt, who's the editor, who I've had arguments with. Like, legitimately, one of the jokes that I made in one of the Horizon Zero Dawn ones was,